Welcome to the Hip Hop Talks podcast. I'm one of your hosts, AG, and I got the homie Coop with me. What's up, brother?
What up, AG?
Chilling, man. Salute to you. You know what I'm saying? The chat looking crazy. It's already jumping off. People are pulling up in here. Thanks to everybody in the chat pulling up on our YouTube stream. Shout out to all the listeners we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music. We're also on iHeartRadio. You know, we're climbing right now. We got over 1K downloads on all the streaming services. We got over 1K subs on YouTube. So, you know, we making our move.
30
Yeah,
days,
in a
1,200
month.
subs.
Yeah, we
1,200
make it.
subs in 30 days.
Word. Yeah, we making moves, and we appreciate everybody for tuning in, for downloading, listening later. You know, thanks for rocking with us. You know what I mean? And super chats are open tonight. Cool. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come around and pull up to your corner. What you got cooking for us, bro?
First of all, we have a promo ad that I just finished coming soon, like real soon. I'm probably going to start dropping the promo ad tomorrow that I sent to everybody today. Yeah, we probably dropping that tomorrow, so be on the lookout for our promo ad. I want to talk about a couple things in the corner right quick, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, and real quick, Sean will be pulling up as soon as time allows. So those of you in the chat that are fans of Sean, he will be pulling up.
First of all, Sean don't have fans, and don't be talking about Sean when we in my corner, okay? It's my corner. It's called Coop's Corner.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Coop? 99% of his fans don't exist? Is that what you said?
No, like cannabis, 99% of his fans wear high heels.
Don't make him too conceited, bro. But yeah, we pulling up on the corner. What you got for us, bro?
I mean, so this Caitlin Clark thing has got a lot of people feeling some type of way. The first thing that I have to say is that you shouldn't be surprised. This is America with 3 Ks. You know what I'm saying? Should not be surprised at all at this. Asia Wilson is probably the best player in the league by a little bit of a margin at this stage too. And she's been in this league for I think 6, 7, 8 years and hasn't got anything close to this type of notoriety or attention. You remember Maya Moore?
Absolutely.
Maya Moore didn't get this type of attention when she was coming out, did she?
Nah, she didn't.
Remember Tamika Holsclaw?
Yep. Nah, she didn't either.
Holsclaw, 3-time All-American, 3-time national championship, 3-time player of the year. No attention like this. And the thing that I hate about it is that when we try to have these conversations about white privilege, sometimes people actually get offended back like we're not supposed to talk about these things. It might be 2024, but there's still a certain way that this country operates and the dynamics under it work with. And Caitlin Clark is talented. She's one of the best shooters I've ever seen, period. But just because she's talented doesn't mean that white privilege isn't involved, And so we're going to have to continue to push these boundaries and push these borders and have these tough conversations until things really do make the change that they need to make. What do you have to say about that, AG?
Nah, bro, I think he's spitting. I mean, we've never seen any publicity like that. I'm not going to sit up here and cap and act like I tuned into the WNBA all the time, but she's been touted more than any other superstar female basketball player that's on that level or better.
Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker.
Right.
Cheryl Swoop, Cynthia Cooper.
Right.
Cheryl Miller.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them that's, even better. But the only, good thing that could come about it is
Taurasi.
Taurasi's cold. You know what I mean? She's arguably the GOAT to me.
So here's the thing about it. Listen to her last name, though. Her name ain't Caitlin Clark. It's Taurasi. Right. So she might be Anglo, but she's not even all the way American Anglo. And there's even a difference in how she gets treated. I'm serious. The Priv works on the scale of the shade.
But with that said, it could bring some positive things to it, because if more eyes get on the sport, then comes more TV deals and endorsements, and then the money goes up. And when the money goes up, then maybe, a lot of the women of color that are of the same talent level will start getting touted like she's getting touted, rightfully so, when more money's coming in.
I don't have a problem with the priv. Can we just spread the priv around? Can we just make it privilege instead of white privilege? You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to have the priv. You know what I
No
mean? I
doubt.
want Agent Wilson to have some priv. I want Skylar Diggins to have some priv. I want the priv all around for everybody. Pass the priv around need to be the motto.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So went to the BMF series season 3 finale screening this past weekend, you know.
Hoops Hollywood, man. Let me tell y'all, bro.
Black Hollywood.
Hollywood Coop.
No, it's a pleasure. Shout out to Deja and Clarissa, Synergy PR Services. They always take good care of me, you know what I'm saying? Jaria. Like, I take these things seriously too. It's like my write-up for it. It's called A Family Affair. My write-up for it is actually done. Andrew's going to get it kicked out probably sometime either later tonight or tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that on our website on Mirror Music and Hip Hop Talks on the webpage. Yeah, I like Hollywood Coop. Actually, you want to know what's crazy? Quick sidebar. I actually recorded some music in Hollywood, like when I lived in Cali. Like, well, not really Hollywood, but like Woodland Hills, like the Valley.
That's dope.
101. Yeah. But so I went to the event, you know, and it's kind of funny. The event was on Edgewood, Adriel. You know what I'm saying? Like Dr. King's house was probably about a mile, like maybe less than about a mile and a half from where I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that dichotomy of being in Black Hollywood, so to speak, where it's like dudes was really hand to hand hustling on like one corner, and then on the other corner there was a red carpet. You know, and so that was what I found fascinating. The dichotomy in the veil of the worlds we live in is still fascinating to me. But AG, everybody's a star now. Like, because everybody has a camera and an LED light and this, that, and the other. Like, AG, I didn't even know who the stars were when the stars were coming in, because now everybody walks in like they're the star.
Well, I mean, when we pull up to a function on the red carpet, then that's how we got to walk up to that. You know what I'm saying?
AG, we really are stars. I don't know who these people were. But I will say I had a good time. I haven't watched too much of the show, but the episodes I have seen have been really, really good. But I can tell you something that I did notice, you know, I mean, you know how like when me and Sean came together, there was like a natural chemistry, and that's part of why this show is working, is just because we have a naturally like good fit and good chemistry.
Absolutely.
It's part of the reason why that show is working. Like, these people really fuck with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see them when the camera's not rolling, and it's like, you know, they're doing the photo ops and everything, but this cast, for the most part, genuinely enjoyed each other's company and was interacting with one another. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really see no funky shit going on, you know what I'm saying? Which happens just, you know, that happens in the workplace. You know, you're going to work with people you don't like, you know?
Yeah.
But it was a really good time. Black people in Atlanta. Shout out to Walter too, who owns Slush. You know what I'm saying? I actually got a chance to meet Walter a couple months ago, like outside of Slush, and me and him had a good conversation. I spoke to him again when I was in there. Shout out to Walter. AG, it's just like we don't follow directions, man. Like, the stars were supposed to go upstairs to do their photo ops. And this is what I mean. Everybody thinks they're a star. The entire building, when they saw the stars go upstairs, like the actual stars, everybody went upstairs with them. We weren't supposed to go upstairs.
Followed.
Yeah, they just followed. You know what I'm saying? And before I knew it, it's like what was supposed to be a small screening of like 75 people felt like it was more like about 200 people, and like the turn up was about to happen. It happened so fast.
Yo, people don't learn that lesson. Like, not saying, you know, that was a I'm sure it was a clean cut attire that you was at, but you gotta learn how to not follow people to them upper rooms, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, see, Slush is 2 levels, and so they had us down on the bottom level, like in the basement area. But the basement area was nice. Has lounge. It's a lounge area. You know what I mean? It's got love seats, got chairs at the bar. Like, you know what I mean? It's a cool little vibe. Got screens down there, got TVs down there, got a little DJ booth area. Like, right. It's a nice spot, but it's just the way that we don't follow directions. You know what I'm saying? We really, really, really don't follow directions, because it's like, you have to understand, there are people, like the people who I know, who keep inviting me to these events and keep make sure that I stay Hollywood. Like, they have this thing called an itinerary that they have to follow. And so, you know, when 150 niggas walk upstairs, it kind of messes with the itinerary.
That's what's up.
But I was impressed with the cast, and I was impressed with the finale. The shit was entertaining.
That's what's up. Tell us what the vibes was like, you know, talking to some of the cast members.
They were super personable and super friendly. I'm going to tell you something, AG. Like, this is what I mean when I say everybody's a star. People that are there to do media stuff, like me, I was there to write. You know, so I really didn't get to meet anybody. I observed, like, Deja offered for me to meet, like, Nicole White and and a couple of other cast members. And I was like, no, I'm cool, because part of what enables me to write this article is me observing. You know what I'm saying? Like, not putting myself in the mix. Like, I'm a writer. Like my gift is writing and speaking. So it's like not jumping in front of the camera and dancing in all the videos and shit. You know?
Come to hip hop talks. No, never mind.
So I really just played the cut the whole time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the entirety of the time, and I really watched how the cast interact with each other. I watched just the overall scene. You know, it's always a fascinating scene when you like go to an event in Atlanta, because this isn't the real place. We're in the upside down of Stranger Things. You didn't know that? And so it's always fascinating to see how we work as a people in these spaces, you know. And so it was an overall good time, though. I mean, it's really about the entertainment value of the show, and the entertainment value of the show was high. I had a good time. I wrote a dope ass article everybody's going to see real soon, and it's going to blow up this weekend. So it was good times. And you want to know what, I guess for me, it really reminded me of how old I was, because I'm thinking, like, while I'm watching Lil Meech walk around, I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, I was one of the young dudes in the club when your daddy was buying out the bar. Like, I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was in those clubs, like, because all that shit was going down literally around the time. My brothers used to do security down here, so I've been getting in every club down here since I was like 19. You know what I'm saying? And that's like around the time. Well, that was the time when all this, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was 19, 20, 21. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I can remember like being in visions one night where like they announced over the speaker, like, yeah, Meech bought everybody a drink, go to the bar. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. And
so,
you know, I personally know that you're a dope writer, so I'm excited for, you know, our fan base to get to tap into the content article that you're about to put out, you know, on that finale premiere. And you know, look forward to that coming out, y'all.
Yeah, we're more than a pod. We got writing stuff coming. We got all types of things coming. So
yeah, we taking over media game for real.
Hold on real quick. I Am God shot me some tracks, AG.
Yo, salute to I Am God. He is a spitter for real.
Hey, listen here, man. I don't want to like blow up his spot too much, because I want his team to like do things the way that they want to do things. But I just want to say that nigga can rap with anybody, AG.
For sure.
Like I'll take him. I'll walk with him to any studio anywhere.
Yeah. Shoutout representative.
Like he repping for the Shy hard. Like I Am God's an MC's MC. Like I can
most
you can take him. Like the proudest moment of my career, you know what I'm saying, was when Curry was like, you know what I mean, still with Bad Boy and all that. And he was like, yo, he was like, this right here that you spitting, he's like, I'll take you to any label like right now. Like the way Curry felt about me that way, that's how I feel about I Am God right now. It's like, no, nigga, I will walk you anywhere, like in any yo.
Facts. And what I really like about the homie, he knows he can spit with anybody out here right now, but he gotta, you know, I don't want to say a quiet confidence about him, because he's very humble, but he put it this way, he knows he can spit with anybody, right? But he's a humble dude, you friend of the show. Shout out to you, I Am God, for real.
Shit I just heard, nigga. Shit I just heard?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. His other joints is dope, for real.
Look here. Like,
I don't do shit like he's in the chat saying more work to be done. Yo, he hit us with the Kobe. The job ain't finished.
I don't do shit like this to say shit like this, AG. Like he got it.
For sure.
And his crew can spit too. That's that iron that sharpened irons thing.
Yo, I seen him post on Twitter today about a posse cut coming down the pipeline, which, you know, we got some discussions to tie into the whole posse cut thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I don't want to say anything, but I'm aware.
Yeah.
Need to listen to the music I sent you, sir. It needs to be your objective when this podcast ends.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm tapping in, absolutely.
Hey, I just want to say this and then we can move on. His flow's gotten sicker.
That's saying a lot.
His flow was already pretty sick. His flow's gotten sicker. Like he been working. You know what I'm saying? It's like an exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, peace. He said he gonna hit me on Twitter. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, salute to you. I Am God, for real. Cool. Speaking of new music coming, couple things to get to. Eminem dropped a press release for the death of Slim Shady, where he had an obituary for Slim Shady. And, you know, when I saw that, I just kind of grinned a little bit because myself, you, and Sean and Lo had this discussion on where we thought the direction of the album was going to be. And me personally, I said I hoped that it would be something conceptual so he can get the Slim Shady flows and content off and it not come off as corny. And with this little press release that he did, it's looking to me like it's headed down that road of being a conceptual project. What do you think, Coop?
I think the little tea leaves Taj sent me about how, like, so perspective is everything. But I guess it's about how you receive the information. So because we talked about it conceptually, you're looking at it from that framework. So I would agree with you on terms of like the conception of it. But Taj kind of presented something, a different train of thought to me, which was, what if this is his last album?
I think it very well is.
Because this is him killing off essentially the character that got him the record deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like he's killing that character off. So is he killing his career off in the process? Is this his swan song? And so, you know, we need to be mindful. Like these dudes, like Eminem don't have to make no damn rap album, AG.
Nope. He's 51.
He didn't have to rap ever again. And so anytime that we're fortunate enough to hear these guys rap, no matter how good or how bad, we're going to talk about the Ghostface later. Sean, just wherever you are, Sean, because I know that you're watching, you're not doing this Ghostface review without you. So you go ahead and bring your ass onto the show, wherever you are, sir. I don't care if you're flying the friendly skies. I don't care if you're styling and profiling.
Sean got to be called out.
Alligators on. You're going to do this Ghostface review with us.
Yo, Sean Rocket Gators is nasty. That's crazy.
Well, it's so hard for me to sit back here in the studio. So we got to tell a lot of truths this evening, and some of our truths may be different, but we're going to be the podcast to tell the truth for real. Well, let's say this is Eminem's last album, real quick, right. AG. Where is there anything that he can do with this album to improve his ranking? Like, if this album is great,
I'm gonna say,
let's say it's like not as good as the first three, but it would be a nice fourth place album.
Okay.
Not a lot of guys are walking around with 4 great albums.
That's a loaded question, because to which fan base do you speak of? Do you speak of his core fan base, the people that's like ride or die M fans or stans, if you will, or are you talking about just the general hip hop culture?
No, I'm talking on some rap shit, like on some quality, like you. Okay. The center of my conversations, like the nucleus of my conversations, is always going to be quality first.
Okay.
And so I'm talking about the quality of the Slim Shady LP, the Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show. Those are high quality projects.
My personal favorite is Eminem Show. If he gives something at least on close to the Eminem Show level, I think it would be a major success, but I don't see his ranking moving. If we're talking about his objective rankings, you know, in the pantheon of rap, no matter how great the album is, I don't think he can move up just simply because of who's in front of him. We're talking about the Mount Rushmore of the, you know, Nas, Jay, Big, and Pac. I don't see him. You know, some people, the reason why I say that is some people already consider him to be top 5. So I don't see him moving beyond 5 at the highest, even with a great album.
I'm talking about him cracking top 15. You're talking about top 5. We're in 2 different worlds.
We're gonna get to that discussion here in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We gotta wait for Sean on that one, but just Max.
2 different worlds.
But just Max, he doesn't exceed top 5 status.
I don't think. I mean,
it's because of who's in front of him. That's it.
He's not in my top 10.
He's number 6 for me.
Number 6?
Number 6.
You have him ahead of KRS?
We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna tell some truths today, man. Like We go talk. We go battle this
Oh,
out. We go spar a little bit.
hold on. And real quick, it's not just I Am God. The production team is fire too. I forget dudes' names are off rip, but like, yeah, production on I Am God shit is fire too. 6 is too high, AG. Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation. It really is. It is.
No, it's not. We gotta tell some harsh truths, and I might be the one to do that today, but we'll get to that. We gotta wait on Sean for that.
Clipto, thanks, I Am God. Shout out to Clipto on the production tip. Clipto did his thing too.
Yeah, beats are hard for real.
Yeah, no, beats are crazy. 6 is too high, AG. No, that's not happening. Like, just putting him over Scarface, Ghostface, Ice Cube, KRS.
Those are all top 10.
Thought, Kiss, LL.
We're going parse all this. We're gonna parse all this out with Sean getting here.
That's nasty work. That is nasty work that you're doing, sir.
Hey, you got to look at the sliders, man. This is 2K. You got to look at all the sliders.
Oops. Okay, sliders. Let's slide to the next topic. That's wild.
That's a hell of a transition. All right, so we got some new music from some heavy hitters. We got Gunna, we got Ghostface, and we also got Conway. Where do you want to start out, Coop? You want to start out with the Gunna album?
What about the hit and Al?
Oh yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Hit Boy and Alchemist, and Big Hit for that matter, put out a new single called Blacks and Whites. Yo, that joint is dope. This is the second single they done put out on their forthcoming project, dropping May 30th. The first one was called Foreclosure, with just Big Hit spitting. Beats is hard. And I'm just looking forward to, a project with them collaborating, because don't forget they put out the EP earlier this year in January with Alchemist and Hit Boy, and that joint went hard. So I think they got nothing but great stuff to offer with them collabing. And it just, when I see Big Hit, rap and, on the videos and stuff, it just makes me smile, man, because that's a story that not enough people are talking about. This man was locked down for so many years, and he comes home to a situation where he can get in the studio with his son, and they just putting out project after project. I don't even know when Hit Boy sleeps. Like, he coming off of 6 Nas projects, other projects, and then doing all these joints with his dad. It's, with his
project, the Music Soul Child project, the Alchemist project, the Game and Big Hit project.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, it's just one of the best stories that
There's
I think.
Project he got out. I forget, like, with his crew.
Yeah,
they're not called Surf Club, but I forget the name just off.
Yeah, he doesn't sleep, but the whole situation with him and his pops, man, that's one of the best stories that hip hop has to offer in the last couple years, and I don't think enough people talk about it.
I mean, I think it's one of hip hop's best stories, period. Like, for any era, for any genre, actually.
Absolutely.
There are these stereotypes and those archetypes of us in terms of the psychological and traumatic ramifications that come from when our fathers are incarcerated and thereby not able to be in our lives, that affects our behavior as grown men. There's the socioeconomic side of it, of him providing a job and a path for his father so that his father doesn't have to resort back to a way of living that probably landed him in prison. There's so many layers of it that are beautiful about the story. And then there's the fact that this nigga's the best producer in the game. And I've been saying it. And the more time it keeps going along, the more the beats keep reflecting it. When I was saying this 2 years ago, niggas was looking at me like I'm crazy. Do I sound like I'm crazy now?
No, I've always subscribed to Hit Boy being the best in the game. He's collaborating with one of the people who would be his main competition, and that's Alchemist. And the other person in that discussion would be Metro. But, Hit Boy's versatility to give you everything he can give you, from boom bap to trap to soul samples and loops, it's just insane to me, man. And it's quality and quantity with Hit Boy.
We're going to have this conversation when we discuss the Conway. Conductor is starting to put himself in that conversation, sir.
Oh, absolutely. Conductor's dope. Conductor's dope.
Have a problem. Yeah.
Conductor's dope.
But the hit and Alchemist, I mean, from pretty much, it's like, I mean, dude, it's like having Barry Bonds and King Griffey Jr. on the same team, and it's 1993, nigga. It's like,
right. And
like that.
But when Alchemist spits, bro, when he's on there rapping, man, I can't I just miss Prodigy, bro. Like when Alchemist raps, for some reason it makes me miss P, you know. But they put out, you know, their chemistry is, you know, they're really, you know, their styles are polar opposite, but they complement each other well, you know, with their production and when they rhyme on the track together. It's kind of crazy. But I'm just looking forward to whatever they put out. So, you know, y'all be sure to check that out on May 30th.
Oh yeah, so that's about to drop. That's coming around the corner.
And yo, I don't know any inside information, but listen, I'm hoping and suspecting there will be a Nas feature on that project.
Usually, when niggas say I don't have any inside information, AG, they've got inside information.
I really don't. I really don't. I'm just, you know, reading the tea leaves because, you know, I've seen pictures on IG with Nas in the stew with Alchemist and Big Hit and, you know, so on and so forth. So I'm just suspecting that, you know, we might get another Nas feature. We're just coming off one, the Scar Tissue joint with Ghost. And Nas is active. We know he's making the joint with Primo, cooking that up right now, but he's still active out here doing features. So I hope we get a Nas feature on that album. And it'll just be dope to hear Nas over Hit Boy production again as well, even if it's for one track. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a lot of us fans been dialing 1-800-NAS and Hit pretty often. So,
I mean, I told you Hit needs to be in the studio for the Nas and Preem album.
Like, yeah, like an executive producer for real.
No, not even executive producer. Like Preem was around for some of the KD and Magic stuff. That's what I'm saying.
He was,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you need to OG it, sometimes you need to YG it, but you got to have some YGs around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because I don't want, like, how about this? This is going to sound crazy because I know they can't reduplicate the sound of like beat wise, like Prince probably doesn't have like a New York State of Mind or Nas is like or Memory Lane left, but he can do some I Gave You Powers, and so I want it to sound like that sonically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want it to be like too much boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Because it's 2024, like not 1994.
Right. You got to update the formula.
Like my favorite intro goes. Yes.
Yeah.
I want the formula updated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if like Hit was just in there to be like, hey, let's use this sound instead of that part of the drum machine. You know what I'm saying? Let's break this down. You know what I'm saying? Like look at it like this, like the montage that I just did. It's like, well, no, I had to send it to Taj, and then I had to send it to Andrew. You know what I'm saying? Taj gave me her notes. Andrew gave me his notes. Then Taj came back with a little bit more notes. Then Andrew came back with a little bit more notes. Then I shot it to y'all. Then I reworked it anyway because by then I wasn't happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but when the team put it together, it tends to lend to more perfection. Like, look at our best rap albums. Most of our best rap albums are collaborative efforts.
Absolutely.
Like, think about it. Illmatic has a team of producers. The Chronic, Doggy Style, The Purple Tape. Solo missions, like it's rare that a solo mission with very minimal help, like reaches like certain feats. Like look at the Low End Theory, Into the Wu-Tang, Aquemini.
Yep. Everybody involved has to put their best foot forward, and that's how classics are made.
Yeah, it's just how classics are made. You got to have people in the room. I mean, Paid in Full is probably the outlier, but I mean, shit, he had fucking Eric B. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Marley. Think about it. He had Eric B. and Marley for Paid in Full. That's big.
And you know,
you're not alone. It's
and
not
a
the
young
Michael Jackson song written by R. Kelly. You are not alone.
And a young Nas was around observing, getting studio time when Rod didn't show up, as he said on the song.
Large Professor's around for Let the Rhythm Hit Him after Paul C died.
Yep.
Takes a village to make these classic rap shits.
Yep, absolutely.
Large Pro is around on Midnight Marauders.
Yep.
There's True Joy on the Hook to Award Tour. Takes a team effort.
Yeah, for sure. The best albums ever created are mostly all team efforts.
Hey, real quick, because I feel like being shady. Didn't Questlove say hip hop is dead?
he did.
So is the Roots picnic canceled, nigga? Hip hop is dead. Is the picnic canceled?
I think he doubled back. You know, I seen some comments where he was trying to explain himself and said, "Yeah, I was playing drums for Jay-Z on Takeover when he was dissing Nas," and you know,
Rick James. He sound like Rick James on the Chappelle Show skit. What I look like talking about I fight Charlie Murphy. Yeah, I slapped Charlie. Yeah, that's how the nigga sound, okay?
Yo, that's crazy.
Still happening, right, nigga? Niggas will
But
say
is
anything.
it Nas is performing at this year's joint, right?
Everybody performing at the damn picnic. That's why he got a lot of nerve saying hip hop is dead when the shit is titled The Roots Picnic. Is the picnic canceled, nigga?
Yo, I was gonna let Quest live, man. I wasn't even gonna touch on that topic, but hey, we here now.
No.
But yo, what do you think about the Gunna album? My son, like, he's playing that nonstop. I've been listening to that Gunna a lot. And yo, you called it. Yo, hold on. You called that. So, you know, I gotta tip my cap to you. You know what I'm saying? You called that the album was gonna be fire.
Whatever you may feel personally aside, he's been the best rap artist to come out of Atlanta the last 10 years. Period.
Well,
he's better than 20. He's better than 21. He's better than Lil Baby. Thug came out. Thug been out for a very, very long time. I was listening to Thug like when I moved back from Cali. That's 07, 06, 07, 08. Like, what dude from down here been better than Gunna in the last 10 years?
I mean, the thing that was most impressive to me, he's put out 2 quality projects after being, you know, pretty much ostracized by the hip hop community, and he just focused on making great projects. And you know, you gotta, you know, take our hat off for that.
The 2 projects before that were stellar too. That's what I mean. Is like, do I think any of these albums are classic that he's made? No, but do I think that they're all dope as fuck? Yes.
Yeah.
Like Wanna is a dope album. DS Forever is a dope album. I forget what the last one's called. Dope album.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Ariana for the $2 super chat. It wasn't a comment with it, but I just want to shout her out for showing some love.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Gunna album.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, he don't need no help. These other niggas need help, AG.
Yeah.
He's been the help. I don't know if you've noticed, but since he hasn't been on a lot of Atlanta records, the quality of the hip hop records coming out of Atlanta has gone down.
Yeah, because everybody, like I said, you know, he was kind of abandoned to a degree, and he's still putting out the quality on his own merit. But like you said, his flavor is not getting added to anybody else's records.
It's been a minute, but his shit fire without all these dudes. You understand that, right?
You're right.
Like, he don't got Metro, and he's still fire.
Facts.
He don't got Thug. He's still fire.
Facts.
Lil Baby and 21 ain't fucking with him. It don't matter. He's still fire.
Yeah.
And so if we're talking about the music, which is why we pull up, musically, it's another dope project from Gunna.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We got another super chat, $4.99 super chat from Ill Magic. It says Gunna's album evokes the feeling of driving through Atlanta in the early hours of the morning just before dawn. You got to speak to that, Coop. You know what I'm saying? That's your spot.
He's right. I can't front. When I thought of it, I was like, this is what we're going to ride to. This is what's going to be playing in Magic. This is what's going to be playing in Strokers. This is what's going to be playing at the Flame. Yeah, it's like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the album.
He's the best rap artist in Atlanta the last 10 years. It's in the music. Fuck your feeling.
I never really thought about that, but you know what I'm saying, you onto something.
Who you got?
Like I said, when I think about it, I can't name anybody that's been, like I said, 21 would probably be the main person to put up against them. But
so here's the separating factor with that. 21 gets elevated when he works with Metro.
Mm-hmm.
Gunna shit is staying the same without Metro. What does that tell you about the artist?
Well, I would put this Gunna project and the last Gunna project both over 21's last project.
Oh yeah, I put Gunna's last 4 projects over all of 21 stuff.
Yeah,
with the exception of maybe Savage Mode.
Yeah, and I can't really count her loss, you know, with Drake like that, but you know, because her loss was solid. But
This Gunna album's better than Her Loss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just gonna tell you
dope
this now.
album.
Like, if I'm making my top 10 list, first of all, both of I Am God's projects are gonna make it because this next project that you guys are about to hear. Both I Am God's album would make it right now. The Schoolboy. I'm going to tell you about some of my picks later, but this Gunna is a top 10 rap album this year.
Yeah. My favorite joint is the title track, One of One. What's your favorite joint on there?
There's a lot.
I mean, the whole thing's quality. I
mean, still a little too long. I could have cut about 3 or 4 tracks. We'd have a better album, but
that's fair.
I mean, it's borderline top 5-ish to me as far as this year. I don't know if I'm being ATL biased when I say that, but I'm thinking like, because here's the thing about it. He's finding different flows and like really like, you know, it's kind of funny when you get isolated, the way that he's been isolated, it can actually make you a better artist. And so actually I hear a more well-rounded artist now in terms of, maybe not in terms of subject matter, but in terms of the way he mastered his craft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like he doesn't have everybody around him anymore. Yeah, it's just really him.
Yeah, you just focus on yourself.
And he has into some pretty impressive results.
Right.
Yeah. No, I like the project a lot. It's a top 10 project this year for sure.
Okay. So transitioning to Conway, you know, I'm a big Griselda fan, and you're probably even bigger Griselda fan. What are your thoughts on Conway's album?
I want you to go first, actually, about the Conway album.
Okay, that's fair. It got some joints on there. I mean,
and where is Sean ass at? Sean, you're not escaping this Ghostface review. You need to stop running.
We'll get there. Yeah, he's avoiding that one. But
stop running. Text this nigga. Find this nigga.
It's got some joints on there. Like, I'm a real big fan of the Muddy joint with Stove God. Stove killed that. Like when he was doing the math like Foxy on his verse, but he gave himself room for error. He said more or less when he was doing his math. Like, Stove is just clever. Like, and shout out to him. He liked one of our posts today. We used him for the bar seminar. If you've been tapped in with us for a little while, every week we try to come, you know, with a bar seminar, like a verse that's, you know, ties into our show or a classic verse to us. And, you know, he was the topic of our bar seminar for this week, you know, and that was Coop's pick. So, and shout out to Stove God for liking that. But back on the Conway, I like the meth joint. Meth's back. And I just want to speak to Meth Man killing features. He killed his feature on the Ghostface. Meth is still rapping like he's in shape, you know. So, but those are features. So let me get to the main event, which is Conway on his own album.
Hold on. But what did you think of the album?
I'm getting to that. It hurts me to say that I was right on the last show when I had my concerns about. I don't know if you remember me talking about it, but I was saying I was concerned if that would move the needle any, because Benny's album was supposed to wave the Griselda flag and take them to places that they hadn't been yet. And to some degree, I don't think it accomplished that, but you know, I think it fell short because of the expectations he set for it, right? But when Conway comes with his project, I felt like he had to build up on that. And I feel like what we got was just another, and I'm no disrespect, but I feel like we just got another run-of-the-mill Griselda album. I don't think it advanced the Griselda brand anymore. It's got some dope joints on there. Conway is spitting per usual, but it's your run-of-the-mill Griselda album. And that's how I feel about it. It didn't progress them any in the space.
You finished?
Yeah.
This album is really dope, and I don't know what all of y'all are hearing. I think maybe you might be tired of hearing it, so maybe you've become numb to it. Maybe you've become immune to it. But this is a really dope project.
It's got some dope joints.
The beat selection on here is excellent.
I liked a lot of the production.
Beat selection on here is excellent. But what we have with this, see, this is like a masterclass session type of day, because this album makes me love rap and love certain artists. So I'm gonna tell you something about what I really think about this project. I love Conway and what Conway does, because Conway's a master of his craft.
Absolutely.
And what really impresses me about this album, is the fact that he's finding new pockets to flow in, but keeping his delivery. Like this album is a bar seminar of sorts. Like he's doing his classic Conway flow, but his timing on these beats, his delivery, it's immaculate. AG.
So as
an MC, he's rounded himself into a special space, and not a lot of rappers get to say this. It doesn't matter what beat you put him on. Like he can find a way to ride it, and he can find a rhythm and a timing in it. And this is what I like about him. When he gets tracks that are not quote unquote classic East Coast Mobb Deep Wu-Tang-ish type beats, when he doesn't get those beats, first he used to rap on top of those beats, and because he was a dope MC, it still worked. But now he's finding pockets of flows with his timing that he's not having to rap on top of these beats that aren't East Coast boom bap beats. He can weave in between them now. That's a mark of his improvement as an MC. Go ahead, because I can see you want to say
him. So you're saying him as an MC specifically, you see the growth on this album.
I see the, it's like that analogy that I always make when I talk about how a quarterback, reaches that point where the game like really, really slows down for them, and like it's different. It's like that point, like like Tom Brady used to get hit a lot more earlier in his career than he did later, and then he reached the point where like he mastered it, and because he knew how well everybody worked, he knew right when to slide to avoid that sack because he had mastered it. You know what I'm saying? Like Peyton at the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Mahomes in the fourth quarter of a big game. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's when the guy develops that mastery for what they do well. And he's developed a mastery of what he does well. And what impressed me about the album also too is that for all these features, it actually sounded like a Griselda-ish album though. What I was worried about was him losing direction. And so do I think the album is great? No, but I do think it's a really good project. Like you don't like Milano Nights Part 1?
Yeah, no, I like that song. But I think
that's glorious. Like that's some shit Big would rap on. Like what is niggas hearing?
Right. But I think that you can compartmentalize the artist from the art. Right. The project itself. Like Conway can be getting better as an MC, but the project still not come together how it's supposed to. So I'm gonna ask you this, Coop. At the risk of sounding redundant because he has put out so many projects, how does this project differ from all his other previous ones? Did he move the bar in a positive direction any with this, other than what you speak to with his skill set? Like overall, how the album sounds, did it move the needle any? Not just for him, but for Griselda as a whole.
No, it did neither one of those things. This is more of the vein. This is a comfort zone album. But
And I like it when an artist never gives you the same album twice. That's what I gravitate towards.
It's a high level comfort zone album though. Like Milano Nights, the Ken Express with Larry June. Larry's like, okay, so here's what I'm saying. It's like
it's about a 4 or 5 track run on the album that's really tough.
Yeah, it is. Muddy with Stove.
Yeah, it starts at Muddy and then goes like the next, 4 or 5 joints is pretty tough. Yeah.
Correct. So I don't know like how you are about your hip hop, but I don't go to everybody expecting the world usually. I go expecting people to operate on the level that they operate on. And if they give me something better than that, then it deserves higher praise. So I think like the Larry June album, Ken Express, is an example of that to me. It's like, no, I'm not expecting Larry June to be like Kendrick on the mic lyrically, but he's my go-to West Coast artist right now. Like, he's the dude that I feel. When I want some East Coast shit, like, Conway's one of my go-to guys from this era. And so he's giving you that. And has he tread that ground before plenty of times? It's like, well, yes, he has. But he's also still making very, very high quality records. Muddy is a great record. Milano Nights Part 1 is a great record. Ken Express is a great record. The Vertino with Joey Badass, that's great. Now, I do have some nitpicks about the album. These songs are too damn long.
I mean, it's a throwback to the earlier era. Shout out to the homie Aaron Myers.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn what era it's a throwback to. Yeah. Throw away the last minute of some of these songs. How about that?
But let me say this. He is rapping at a high level and the quality is there. But I think my problem comes in at the quantity because they release so many projects, right?
Yeah, we've heard so many great songs from him. But I was impressed with his beat selection. Like what's his best album? From a King to a God?
I would say yes. Yeah.
So there aren't any Juvenile Hell or Jesus Crisis on here. You know what I'm saying? There's not a Griselda record. There's not a Westside Benny Conway record on here. The songs are too long at points. And so it's not, I'm not saying it's a perfect album. I'm just saying it's like, is it just like a throwaway album or like a weed plate? It's like, no, this is a quality project from one of the upper echelon MCs in the game and one of the top 5 MCs in the last 5 years, in my opinion.
Yeah, it may be I'm not judging it fair, but I'm looking at it from, because you asked me what my expectations are. And no, I wasn't expecting, the world out of it, but it's like when you go to a restaurant and, if it's a Michelin star joint, if it, you eat a nice steak, whatever, and then if you go there every day of the week over 2 weeks straight, it might taste exactly the same as when you first ate the steak, but it's not going to hit you the same. You're going to be like, the steak is all right, but I'm kind of tired of the steak right now because I've had it every day for 2 weeks straight. And I think with the quantity of music that they putting out, I think they've gotten to that point where it's like an oversaturation, where it's not a vast difference in what they're putting out. So it's like you're getting the same thing over and over and over again. And that dilutes the quality of it, even if it's on par with stuff that came before it. It's because you're desensitized to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, that happens. Like, that happens on both ends of the pendulum, though. Like, think about A Tribe Called Quest. It's like, well, nothing changed about how they put together their projects when the Love Movement came out, but they had covered so much territory with People's Instinctive and the Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders and even Beats, Rhymes, and Life, that when you got a formula and you don't update the formula, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, it's not the updating of any formula. It's some really quality guest features. Stove showed out. Meth showed out. Joey Badass had a great verse.
Absolutely. But to your point, on its own merit, it's a good album.
Yeah, on its own merit.
Yeah.
Like, if a New York nigga just came out with this album today and his name wasn't Conway, we'd be like, man, this is a dope ass project.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right in that regard, because on its own merit, it's a dope album. But I just can't help but to think about everything that came before it and question, where do you go from here when I listen to that.
So I'm gonna say this is that, like, I want you to tell me what Conway's 3 best albums are in your opinion. Like, rank Conway's 3 best albums in order for you.
From a King to a God would be one. La Machina, and probably maybe God Don't Make Mistakes. I think he had more range on that album than this album.
Okay. So La Maquina and God Don't Make Mistakes has more range than this album.
Yes.
And I could agree with you. I might put Won't He Do It over God Don't Make Mistakes, but
I mean, Won't He Do It is good. I would put Won't He Do It over this album. Slant Face Gold.
Those are the 4 best albums, right?
Out of how many? We got to frame it properly.
I mean, he's got the Black Tape. Hold on. He's got the Black Tape. He's got Look What I Became. He's got Everybody Is Food 1, 2, and 3. He's got Lulu with Alchemist.
And let's be real. A lot of these are real short. A lot of these are real short projects. So.
Yeah. Like Lulu's a 5-piece.
Right.
Yeah, Lulu was a 5-piece.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that this album isn't as versatile as those albums. What has that gotten him exactly? What is all this versatility? Like, I know that we know that he's versatile now. What has it gotten him? And also, too, what would you call, what's the record? The 10/Riot interlude, which I think should have been split up and just been 2 separate songs anyway. Mm-hmm. I don't know why those songs are pieced together like that. That's an executive production error, and like, in my opinion, because it's like, why would you have a 6-minute song in these days and times when both of the songs is about 3 minutes long, and both of the songs actually slide, but they slide in a similar way. So why wouldn't you take those songs and split them up and break them up and give this album some more shakeup? Like, that's just for me. So that was an executive production mistake, in my opinion, to like take 10 and Raya and put them together, like literally like mash them into one song, and then also like put them like together. Like, you should have taken those songs and separated those songs and put them out through the course of the album. I think it had more of effect. Like, you could have like tossed the 10 in between Milano Lights and Ken Express, and then kept Raya for a bonus track, or kept it towards the further back end of the album, in my opinion. So there are missteps on here. I'm not saying that there's not missteps, but I'm saying the bar seminars, they're still high level. The guest appearances are dope. The production is good. It does tail off at the end some, but overall solid project.
How much staying power do you think it'll have with you?
Hey, AG, I don't know how much staying power a lot of these fucking albums have these days, if you really want to know the truth.
Nah, that's real.
Like, think about it. What's your album of the year this year, AG? Like, let's keep it funky. Like, what's your album of the year, my G?
So far, I mean, we in May.
First of all, Sean said that he would be here by 9:30. He ducking this Ghostface review. We're not doing this Ghostface review till you pull up. I know you're outside.
I don't know, man. I think at the top of the year, I think Paisley Dreams was dope. I don't think Game gets enough credit. You know, him and that's another joint that Hit Boy, produced. Because that came out New Year's Day. That came out very top of the year.
Did it come out New Year's Eve? Or did it come out New Year's Day? No, it's New Year's Day. You're right.
Yeah. And I mean, you're right. Nothing really has stuck with me like that, to be honest.
So when you're saying that, why are we putting those expectations on Conway and not on everybody else? Did the Benny album stick?
Not as long as it was supposed to.
How you feel about the Schoolboy Q, which I think is an album of the year contender?
It was really good, but
are you still playing it?
No. It didn't have the staying power with me, and it was a little sleepy. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like it just didn't have the staying power with me. But I'll tell you what would have been a candidate, and we'll get to this talk later. And it hurts my soul to say this, is Might Delete Later. That would have been a candidate. But I feel like in that situation, you know how Drake got hit with the Meet the Grams right after Family Matters, and it thwarted all the steam because that record Family Matters is great. The irony is Cole did that to himself, because the apology came 2 days after the album dropped, and that project Might Delete Later was tough. But then the apology came, and I have to be honest with you, Coop. I tried to listen to it once after the apology, and it just wasn't hitting the same, and I hadn't been back to it since.
You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it.
So
That's why
what Kendrick did to Drake, Cole did to himself, and that's crazy. But that would probably be my pick, and
AG.
that would have had more staying power had that not happened. If I'm being honest,
self-inflicted wounds are the worst ones, man.
Crazy.
That's what's so crazy about this. It's a self-inflicted wound. He literally killed his legacy, or at least his ability to be number one in his generation, which is a legacy move. And he hurt his album. Is it a dope project? Yeah. Does anybody have the heart that really listen to it right now? No.
Right. And the first We Don't Trust You was pretty tough. That stayed in rotation with me for a while.
So the Cole is cool. Schoolboy's cute, cool. LeBron joint, Benny's cool. Yeah. I like the Game and Big Hit album. It's cool. What's staying though?
Nothing.
So we can't sit up there. So we can't.
We got it. We got to keep it consistent. You're right. We got to keep it consistent. But
we wasn't saying this shit about these other albums. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, there you go.
Oh well.
Just in time.
Well. Nice of you to show up, sir.
Yo, I was in the backstage. I was hoping y'all would get past the Ghost joint.
Hey, yo, I was going to, but Coop said he did you like Drake. He was like, nah, Sean, you got to follow through.
We'll talk about the Ghost.
I'm jet lagged.
We'll talk about your number 2 today,
bro. I don't even want to talk about it, man. I'm jet lagging right now.
It's hip hop talks. It's called hip hop talks, Sean.
We got to tell some truths today.
We got to tell some truth. You're right.
Real quick, we got a $5 super chat from Esquire. Shout out to Esquire. He says, I have a hard time buying the don't hit the same logic. Great music hits no matter the context. Family Matters is fire, as is Might Delete Later. I mean, if Might Delete Later stay with you, then shout out to you. But it just took the wind out of the sails for that album for me and for a lot of people that I talked to.
I mean, I didn't think it was an album of the year when it came out. What's up, Esquire, man? Good to see you. I kind of like, as a Mobb Deep fan, when people talk about they get tired of hearing the same thing, it's like, man, I never get tired of hearing that Mobb Deep shit. You know what I'm saying? I never get tired of Prodigy stabbing a nigga with an ice pick. I don't get tired of that. Not tired of that at all. It's perfectly okay with me in my world. I never get tired of like that high level like bar work and bar seminars that Wu-Tang Clan give. I never get tired of the funky creativity of an Outkast or a Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm kind of pulling up. Like when people are saying they don't like this album, it's like, what do y'all want from Conway exactly? Because it's like typically we want our artists to give us a reflection of the stuff that they really make that made us like them in the first place. And this album is more in that vein. It is. Mm-hmm. This isn't like God Don't Make Mistakes or La Maquina or Won't He Do It. This is more like the Black Tape. This is more like Everybody Is Food. This is more like Look What I Became. This is more of his core shit.
Yeah, it's a solid effort for sure. But I look at it as like, from your vantage point, you're saying he got better as an MC, and you can hear all those nuances where he improved. For me, I'm not hearing that quite as much, and I'm looking at it as like somebody who goes to class and in their sleep they can get like an A- or a B, and then they just kind of phone it in, and then that's what we got.
Okay, so it's like this. We're expecting him to, like, the wizardry of this album is in the nuance of MCing, not in the entertainment shock value side of MCing. And so lyrically, he's not hitting with niggas keep blocking my goals, I'm gonna make it messy. There's not bar work like that on here. The improvement is in where he's catching the beat, the way he can ride a snare now instead of riding a bass line with his delivery. Yep. It's the fact that he can come in on the kick before the third bar even drops, but because of how he's rhyming, it fits in when the fourth bar drops and his flow pattern starts. So that's what I'm saying when it's more of a master class at MC and like your ears have to be tuned. He's more nimble. Like it's like this. It's like watching a race car driver like downshift and then speed back up the way his flow's going on this album a lot of the time. Like he's do pause, downshift. No, zoom 0 to 60 again. Right. doing stuff like that on that album as an MC. Like, niggas don't understand how difficult that is. Like,
Right.
it's not easy.
But you're a hip hop head and somebody who's rapped before, and only a small percent of the population is going to understand that. You know what I mean? When they listen to it, they're listening with a different set of ears.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, but I can hear the MC. Like, how about this? I can almost hear the guy that was like sitting in a wheelchair, and so he's just running it back over and over and over and over again until it's getting more and more wicked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his flow on here is nice. Like, he's got different flows, he's got different pockets, he's got different timings. It's pretty impressive. He's downshifting, he's accelerating. So I like the MC performance overall. Now, if you're telling me the songs aren't as well-rounded, okay. If you're telling me lyrically it's not from a king to a god, or some of his spaz outs like Brutus or George Bondo or something like that, then like, okay. Or Hell on Earth Part 2, like, no, it's not that. But it is a good project from an upper echelon MC. It's not some mid.
So, Sean, we want to get your thoughts on the Conway before we transition to this Ghost. And if you gentlemen will excuse me for like 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Sean, you want to give us your thoughts on the Conway?
I have none. Y'all covered it.
Yo,
Y'all covered it eloquently.
All right, so we'll go into the Ghostface. I'll be back in a minute.
Wow.
No, AJ, you really need to stay here and listen to Sean talk about this Ghostface.
I don't want to talk about it. Yo, the Conway joint was decent. It was I wasn't underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. It was just decent. Nothing to go crazy over. I think you said it right, cool. I don't want to rehash what you both were talking about. That's why I said in the backstage, wait to my time to come up here. But I just don't think it was. I knew what we was going to get from the Conway joint. You know what I mean? I didn't have no expectations to see growth from Conway or from anyone from Griselda. When we talked about this before the album dropped, I told you both that I felt like Conway, what is he going? How is he going to approach this? Will he do the Benny route and try to appeal more commercially, or will he continue to do the things that we know Conway can do? And we know Conway can rap, but we didn't see a lot of range in this album. There's nothing that said, "Oh, this is a different chamber he jumped into," and I'm excited about that chamber. I didn't get that from him. I didn't see growth in this album, and that's not to say the album is bad. I'm just saying it's not the growth. I think the staying power is not there. I don't think I'll be listening to this album by next week or 2 weeks from now, to be quite honest. It's starting to wear off me already. I think we had a super chat too.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. AG, can you see it?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Esquire with another $5 super chat. Shout out to you. He says, Long Kiss Goodnight still hits despite Pac disses. Drop a gem on him against all odds, even though he and Nas squashed it. Rosé's crime bars, basically saying all this stuff, despite the circumstances, it still hits. So, that's a fair and valid point. I'm just pointing to the might delete later. When I go back and listen to it, my ears hear it a little bit differently now. So
you've been emotionally affected by how this new generation of niggas has traumatized you, AG. We all
Cole. Out of the three, Cole was my guy. Still is. But
yeah.
But out of the three,
is
my guy.
Is he your guy? Is he your guy?
Yeah. I mean, I still respect Cole as an MC. He's one of the best to do it. But we talk, and we're going to get to like ranking talk here in a little bit. But I was disappointed with the move he made. In hindsight, I could see why he did it, but at the same time, that affects overall his status. You know what I mean? And I can be able to like to Esquire's point, I can parse that out, but right now it's too soon. You know what I mean? Because for me, that project is linked to that event. And, it's just, I can go back and listen to his other stuff with no problem, but might delete later, as good as it was, it's just linked to that event and it's too soon. I might be able to revisit it, down the road. So.
I think My Delete Later is better than the off season, but I didn't think it was going to win album of the year. Yeah, it is better than the off season, but it's not winning the album of the year. And quite frankly, he better make album of the year.
He has to. He has to.
Be honest.
Not a contender for album of the year. Not a contender.
Nah.
The
right.
First place.
Right.
I'm good.
Gold medal.
Right.
I'm good.
But now we're gonna get to he said I'm good. But now we're gonna see if you're really good, Sean. We're gonna talk about this Ghostface album. All right.
Come on, man.
Now I'll kick it off. If I'm being honest, with the Ghost project, you know, it's similar to what I said about Scar Tissue. This is the first time me listening to Ghost and I could hear the age on them. You know, I could hear the rust, you know what I mean? And I think being fans of Nas, that kind of spoiled us a little bit, you know what I mean? Because he's rapping at such a high level at a, you know, age where you really shouldn't be. And I mentioned Method Man earlier. Method Man's in top tier shape, you know? So I think we expect all of our, you know, legends to be in the same kind of, you know, rap shape, but on Ghost, I hear the decline a little bit. And that was, you know, that was a little bit disappointing, but I'm hoping that this is a warm up for Supreme Clientele too. But if we ever get that, first of all, but what I will say is this album, it had a few joints on here. It had the No Face with Kanye. Speaking of, you know, he's supposed to do Supreme Clientele too. The twin, not Twin Hammers, it's called Pair of Hammers with Method Man. Them going back and forth was fire. Them going back and forth was fire.
Kanye gonna produce Supreme Clientele too? Did you say that out loud?
That's just what we're being told. That's what we're being told.
You just keep on being told that, AG. You just keep on being told that. There's not a chance of that happening.
But yeah, so overall, I mean, I could just hear the rust, and that was a little bit disappointing. But the project has everything you would want from a Ghost project. It has funny skits like the cereal skit. It has the soul, you know, samples. It has you know, he's in his storytelling bag. Everything you would want from a Ghost album is there. It just doesn't hit the mark on the delivery. You know what I mean?
From a Ghost album is there?
What Ghost is known for. What Ghost is known for. But the delivery, he doesn't stick the landing. He's doing Ghost things, but he doesn't stick the landing. And that's disappointing.
Sean, since you're just here for Sean, since you're just here for support this evening, apparently.
Yeah. Before we get to
would you like to support AG's claims?
Before we get to his take, let's read these super chats real quick. Jadarion with the $5 super chat. He says Jay Ski's Testament of the Times has the most staying power to me. Replay value high. So that's his pick for album of the year. Tracy G2 with the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. It says, y'all ain't no true Cole fans then, because I literally listen to Might Delete Later and Family Matters daily. Cole and Drake like the...
Don't do that, Tracy.
Like the SB 100. And I don't know what the SB is. Yeah.
Talk to him, Tracy.
But yeah.
I mean, Drake like the Super Bowl.
Oh, like the Super Bowl. Okay, got
like
you.
First person shooter.
Yeah. Like I said, hey, Tracy G, you know what I'm saying? Me and my son pulled up to the Drake and Cole concert. We spent a lot of money on those tickets, so I can't disown them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of money invested in them, right? But cool. Sean's not going to speak on it. So what's your thoughts?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest about it.
Good. I'd like to bring up the rear in this conversation. Sean, go ahead and jump right on in the middle.
Yo, bring up the rear.
Oh,
yo, that is crazy. What do you mean by that? Like, I don't even. Yo,
you want to know?
Crazy.
You're not being supportive at all. You can jump back out.
But you said bring up the rear. I'm like,
hey, look at Sean deflecting.
Yo, I'm jet lagging. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, I'm a little disappointed. I'll be honest. Y'all know that Ghost is my number 2 rapper of all time. Listening to this album, it reminds me, it's like a mesh between Ghostdini, the Wizard of Poetry album, as well as a little bit of Pretty Tony and a little bit of the More Fish. It sounds like it's a bunch of outtakes from those albums, and he put it on here. I don't think he's as sharp But I want to hear Ghost. I want to hear Ghost on the RZA track. I said that last week before the album came out. I said I'm more interested in Ghost and RZA and Ghost is someone from that Wu Element group, as opposed to outside producers, newer producers, because I don't think a new producer or a just any producer can produce a artist like Ghostface, because you got to get the best out of Ghostface. You got to get the emotion out of Ghostface. You got to get the entendres. You got to get the slick talk out of Ghostface. You got to get the 8 ravioli bags, 2 thirsty niggas ready to bellyache. You got to get that out of him. You don't get that out of him with the beat selection that you got from this. I understood where he was coming from because I understood the Guns N' Roses theme, where the first half was more of the guns, more of the, I'm gonna hit you in the face. The back half of that was more for the ladies because he had different stories and different things going on. But I still felt like those were
Plan
outtakes.
B.
Yeah, play right, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I felt like those were outtakes from the Wizardry album that he came out with several years ago. It was underwhelming to me. Scar Tissue, of course, was dope, but I still felt like there was more to be given on that. That the Hammers joint with Meth was phenomenal. I thought the joint with him and him, Sheik Luch, and Jim Jones wasn't too bad. I think that was pretty dope. The Fat Joe joint was okay. I don't know where he dug up Ja Rule. I didn't like that collab. That
Oh
was
no.
crazy. That was I don't know where he got Ja Rule from. So that was to me that was like, what did they, come on, Ghost. And we try to get Ghost on here, so I want to be very careful how I navigate this. Overall, if we had the scale, the hip hop talk scale of the mics or whatever you want to call it, pause. I'll probably give it like a 3.5, man. And that's me being generous from a fan perspective. Because I can appreciate what he was trying to do. But I think Coop mentioned last week, very likely on the Scar Tissue joint, he was saying how it sounded like Ghostface not in rapping shape right now. And that's important because a rapper of his ilk, someone who's been in the game for so long, your Ghost like what, 55, I think now, 55, 56.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a rapper who doesn't have that panache, as old boy is saying Django. He doesn't have that panache on a mic like he used to have. But I also think it comes down to who's producing the album. You got to get Ghost in his element. When you give Ghost a Ghost beat, a soulful joint, something that he can rhyme over. And to your point, I'm gonna leave it at this and click it over to you, Coop. The AG, you touched on it as well. Pause. When you were saying that it sounds like there's some DNA from Ghost on this album, right? You can hear where he's going with it. You got the skit scene, they got the funny skits. You got him rapping over an actual track where the track is still playing in the background. You have all of those elements, but the landing, he's not sticking the landing because I don't think you have a maestro like RZA in that room with you saying, "Hey, take that out, son, or put this back in." So like you don't have that conductor like RZA to help orchestrate the right, feeling for that particular project. So yeah, underwhelming for me. I'm not gonna front, but I'll kick it over to you, Coop, so you can
Sorry,
bring up the rear.
real quick, real quick before Coop gives his take.
Yeah.
You brought out outtake. You brought up outtakes. This sounded like some outtakes. Ghost put a
Mhm.
project out. It was either the top of this year or last year, called The Lost Tapes,
Mhm.
and it was some true outtakes. And I think it was pretty fire. If I'm being honest, it had some joints on there, but that just
Yeah.
shows the difference in
Better
how
than this
somebody
project.
was that.
Better than this project.
Absolutely, but that just shows the
Yeah.
difference in how somebody used to rap, because we don't know how old those tracks are and how they're currently rapping. So,
Mhm.
you could just hear the rust. So hopefully the rust is off if we are to get Supreme Clientele 2, and I'll pass it to you, Coop.
No, but to your point, like if you think about Adrian Young when they did the 12 Reasons to Die compilations, Adrian
That's
Young
dope.
brought out that Ghost. That was
Dope.
dope
That's
because
a dope
he
project.
went he went back into
Dope
that
project.
vault. He went into that
Yeah,
soulful vault. You
yeah.
got to give Ghost soulful music. You can't give him this stuff that we hear today in today's music. It doesn't stick to your ribs. That's not who he is. When you got, like, I think every song had a feature. Every single song had a feature. And I don't want that from Ghost at this point. You know what I mean? Give me a 3 or 4 features. Give me a Wu collect. Give me a Wu banger 101, and let's call it a night. I just think he was trying to touch too many parts of the audience. Pause. Go ahead, Coop. Sorry.
So first of all, I'm going to address the elephant in the room about why this album isn't that good. Ghost's voice don't sound good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm not joking when I'm saying this. I've been pulling up on Hip Hop Talks. I've been letting people inside of my life a little bit more. So when I smoked weed, there came a point in my life, in my adulthood, where I stopped smoking cigars and I started smoking papers about my chest, about my voice, about my vocal tone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm serious. He needs to stop smoking like blunts, stop smoking cigarettes. It has affected his voice.
Yeah.
Vocally, he is not the same.
Nah.
Part of what makes Ghost darts so sharp is that his voice is sharp. It's not just what it says, it's the way that his voice pierces through a beat when he's enunciating his word, especially when he's finishing at the end of bars.
Right.
Think about this. If he were to rap the verse to Impossible right now, it wouldn't have the same effect, because part of what makes that verse so special is the way that he's using his pitch. Call the ambulance, Jamie been shot. It's the panic.
Yes.
It's the frenetic, high-paced, high-pitched nature of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's too gruff now.
All of that is gone.
Yeah.
We eat fish, toss salads, and make rap ballads.
Right.
Different when he says it like that.
Right.
And so the biggest problem with the album is actually him vocally.
Yep.
Because
somebody got a good point in the super chat. I mean, not super chat, but he said they've been touring all year. Do you think that has something to do with the, his pitch? Like, his voice might have been strained over the course of the tour?
AG, if it does, first of all, touring is part of the cycle of being an entertainer and an MC. So you need to prepare yourself properly. Like, get some green and black tea in the morning with some honey and some lemon every day. Keep your words to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're older now. The way that you have to train is different.
Absolutely.
Like, the way that you train when you're 25 ain't the way that you train when you're 50. If you train the
Totally
same way,
different.
Look here, Sean, you know this because we were talking behind the scenes. Oh, I'm doing the same workout that I was doing when I was 25 when I just started working back out. Now, the way my body feels the next day after doing the workout is totally different.
Facts.
Totally different.
Facts.
So
I'm in torn. You know what I mean? And my voice sounds crisp.
Yeah,
Man.
you can't.
Look at AG, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Nobody's comparing you to Ghost, Sean.
Think about it. Like, think about the Ghost verses that you remember, though. Like, think about Fourth Chamber. Like, think about his voice. Why is sky blue? Why is water wet?
Yeah.
Why did Judas grab the Romans? Why Jesus slept?
Yeah.
Stand out.
Stand
out
up.
of luck like two dogs stuck.
Yeah.
That's his bread and butter.
That's why he's saying it, though. He sounds crazy. Like, you feel like you're running through the projects with Ghost when he's talking.
Right.
Facts.
It's the inflections. It
is. It matters.
Yeah.
Like Guru said, at the end of the day, it is about the voice. And so the voice is what's suffering more than anything else. Now, let's get to the actual album.
Real quick, before you hit the album, Coop, we got a $5 super chat. Michael Williams, if you were ranking Pusha T and Freddie Gibbs strictly on their solo catalog, no clips allowed, who would you rank higher? Coop, you want to take that one?
Freddie.
It's Freddie.
Yeah.
Pusha's my guy, but it's Freddie.
Freddie has better album catalog. Yep. So go ahead to what you was going to say.
Album catalog than a lot of these niggas.
He does.
Absolutely.
Now, what was you going to say in regards to the album, Coop?
So I want to piggyback off Sean's point about you got to have certain types of tracks that bring stuff up out of Ghost, which is correct. But also, an executive producer's job isn't just to guide production-wise. It's to guide the artist content-wise.
Right. Absolutely.
Content-wise, okay, let's look at Ghost specifically in the realm, because the problem with this album is really that there's too many formulaic R&B for the women's songs. It's like ladies love Ghostface album. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, here's the problem with that. It's not that Ghost can't talk about the ladies. Ghost is at his best when he talks from a certain perspective. When Ghost is talking traumatically, sexually, and scorned about women is actually when he shines brightest about talking about women.
Absolutely.
Ice cream. Back like that. Wildfire
off crazy.
off of
Oh my
Iron
god,
Man.
Wildfire was crazy. That was my anthem.
We want to hear. Cam
That was
A.
my anthem.
Cam A. Remember Cam A?
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Came's one of them ones.
That's what I'm talking about. That's when Ghost is at his zenith talking about the ladies. So there's too much lady talk. Yeah, there's too much lady talk on here. Yeah. And it's not that the lady talk is the problem. It's the perspective from which Ghost is addressing it. Because when Ghost addresses it from those different perspectives, the track comes out different.
Absolutely cool. Absolutely.
And that's when RZA or somebody like that needs to be in the room. It's like, no. You remember that bitch you was in love with when we was in China for 3 months? Talk about her. Remember how she did you? Talk about her. Because when Ghost is doing that is when you're getting the best Ghost. That's the job of an executive producer, is to get the best out of the artist.
Absolutely.
And so
but we're not going to get that, guys. That's not going to happen. We know that.
I think you can, because Ghost is so witty. This is the same guy that said in the middle of a song, in the middle of the joint, he was like, yo, I'm high power, put Adina Howard to sleep. Your pardon, that bitch is on my mind all week. He said it in the middle of the record. Yeah. It had nothing to do with the song.
It's part of what makes the record special.
But I mean, what I mean is the RZA connection.
Part of what makes Ghost special.
That's make Ghost special.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Think about it. Wisdom Body off the Purple tape.
Oh my goodness.
Wisdom Body's crazy. But it's just the RZA connection that we're not going to get.
I'm not talking about the RZA connection. I'm talking about the executive production connection, like Apollo Brown.
Okay,
when he did the Ghost shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I would love to hear Havoc do Ghost album.
That's a good pull.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Because these beats ain't it. The perspective on the content is missing. The first half of the album is solid.
Yeah.
But these joints are just solid because here's what's really happening with Ghost. Although Ghost isn't my number 2 MC, I do have Ghost in my top 10. Now, Ghost, it's safe to say Ghost has a top 10 rap catalog, right?
Easily. You could say top 5.
I'm about to say some people might feel like the catalog is top 5, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now Meth has been the star of the Wu. Okay, Ray's been the glue of the Wu. I feel like Old Dirty Bastard is the tipping point in the group because I don't think their music is the same without him in the fold in full, which is why Enter the Wu-Tang is their best album. Old Dirty Bastard is the difference.
The energy.
So ODB is the difference maker. Meth is the star. Ray is the glue guy. Ghost has been the best member of the Wu-Tang Clan.
He's been the most consistent.
Yeah,
He's the best. He's the best member of the best crew. The expectations are different when you're the best member of the best crew.
Absolutely. But cool,
that's it. You may not be the star. Look, you may not be the star. You may not be the street glue guy. You're not the supreme lyricist that Jizza and Inspector Deck are. You're not the wild card that ODB is, but you are the fucking best. Right. We're gonna hold you to that shit
because you have the range. You made Iron Man. You made Supreme Clientele.
Well, how about this? Is he as lyrical as Jizza Inspector Deck? No, but he can rhyme with him on any given day.
But he does all the things.
He's a better storyteller than all of them.
Yeah, he does. He does everything well.
Is he a star like Method Dirty? No, but he is a star.
Right.
Him and Ray is peanut butter and jelly. They're the best rap duo of all time, in my opinion.
Fact.
Like as far as pound for pound, nobody's fucking with Ray and Ghost.
Before we get to the super chat, I like how you said Havoc to produce instead of Kanye to produce a Ghost album, but the producer that I'm
no damn Supreme Clientele too with Kanye producing.
But the producer that I'm gonna throw out there is I think Ghost will sound crazy over some Ninth Wonder.
I don't love. Okay, so here's why you have to put things on a level and say them respectfully. So I'm gonna say this respectfully. Supreme Clientele is one of the best rap albums ever.
Oh, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Havoc has produced albums better than Supreme Clientele. Ninth Wonder hasn't.
That's fair.
Infamous is better than Supreme Clientele.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth and Supreme Clientele are comps for each other. You get what I'm saying? Havoc has produced on that level and made Supreme Clientele level albums.
So you will hold it to that same standard now?
Don't have no nigga pulling up to do Supreme Clientele 2 that hasn't provided Supreme Clientele results or above.
You can't.
Well, Kanye has done that. It's just that we'll never get it.
We never get that.
Okay, so what Kanye album's better than Supreme Clientele to you?
From top to bottom?
Yes.
that Kanye produced solely by himself. The only one in the conversation would be B, or which Dilla got a couple joints on there. But B is slapboxing with Supreme.
I love B. B and Supreme are probably my two best rap albums in that 5-year period. That and Get Rich or Die Trying is in there. But here's what I'll tell you. The high moments on Supreme are better than the high moments on B, and the albums are comparable.
It's because Ghost is a better rapper than Common.
I don't know. He's not that much better. It's like we're talking about like 8 versus like 12 or 13. So it's like he's not that much better. But what
Common is more tactician.
Yeah. But here's what I'm saying when I'm saying that. There's no Wu Banger 101 or We Made It or Mighty Healthy on B. Where it's just that rap shit where it's like crack music to you. You know what I'm saying?
The corner. Don't do that. Don't do that because the corner is that. The corner is that.
The corner is that. Okay, so listen to what you're saying. The corner is that. But on Supreme Clientele, but on Supreme Clientele, 1 is that. Mighty Healthy is that. Buck 50 is that. We Made It is that. Wu Banger 101 is that. Stroke of Death is that.
Keep going.
It's Supreme. It's one of the best rap titles ever. It's one of the best rap titles ever. Because when you listen to the album, it's like, no, this is some Supreme Clientele shit.
So you think that Havoc present day can provide that? Because we've heard the project that he did with Styles P. And let's tell some truth.
That was a short-lived project.
I don't care. I don't care about how many songs it was.
In all respect to Styles,
how were the beats cool? How were the beats cool?
Styles is an all-time great MC. Styles is not Ghost. Like the expectation is different, and how you would have to.
How were the beats? How were the beats?
See, I said executive produce. I didn't say necessarily the beats. I'm talking about somebody to put it together. I said executive production wise.
I got you. Okay.
I would be okay with Mathematics doing it.
Mathematics. He could tap into that RZA sound. He is like. He is truly RZA's understudy, and I don't think he gets enough credit.
He does,
and he can tap into that sound like no other.
Give me Mathematics and Fourth Disciple.
If I'm being real, Mathematics. Once you got to a certain point in time, Mathematics could do RZA better than RZA could do himself. Pause.
That was crazy.
Big pause.
Yeah, that was wild. Y'all on the road today. Y'all on the road tonight. What is going on?
But listen, Mathematics could do RZA style production better than RZA couldn't tap back into that himself.
Hold on. When's the last time Mathematics did beats like that, though, guys? Like, why y'all talking about Have?
He did the whole the Wu-Tang Saga Continues project. He did that whole joint.
That was like what, 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Nah, that was more than that.
So
yeah, that was a handful.
Like I said, I would go call Conductor, Alchemist, Hit Boy, Havoc executive produce or co-executive produce with RZA. Yeah. Get some hitters up in there. I'd be cool if Q-Tip did it. Like you got to get a hitter for Supreme too. Like ain't no regular nigga about to do it's Supreme too.
You got to go back to the essence. You got to go back.
Think about this. When Ray did Purple Tape 2, it's like no, Jay Dilla, Dr. Dre, RZA. Right. You get what I'm saying? Like no, he didn't just go. No, he went and got hitters.
Right. Because you got to update the sound. You got to update the sound, but
you got to go get all the hitters.
Yeah. You still got to stick to the basics, though. Update the sound, sticking to the basics.
Let's get this $5 super chat, and then we'll move on to the next topic. From 88 Spence, what up? $5 super chat. He says that's what Conway is missing, a great executive producer. I mean, not just to pick on Conway. I think a lot of artists are, missing a great executive producer.
I ain't missing that shit. Are you not listening to these albums? We keep having the same conversations about editing, about quality, about staying power of project. That's executive production. That's artist in development.
Yeah, A&R's not a thing.
Artist and repertoire. I'm sorry.
Yeah, A&R is not a thing anymore. A&R is not a thing anymore. So
it's not. It's really.
But you want to know? It is a thing still, fellas. It just operates on a much more minor level than it used to. Like an A&R used to be the tipping point of getting your project put together, and now A&R is more like finding the local artist in the city and making sure that they're monetizing on social media and YouTube and making sure they're getting their streams up and they're following up. The game's different.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Before we get to talking about these diss records, rankings in particular, Game put out a diss record against Rose called Free Ray's Revenge. What do you guys think about that record?
Thought it was dope. It's game. It's game. People don't like game antics. I'm a game
Correct.
fan. I've always been a game fan, but people don't like
Uh,
his antics. But game can go at it with anybody, straight up. And Ross knows that. You notice Ross didn't try the antics with game like he did with Drake or anyone else because he know he'd be in for a long fight messing with game because game would not stop. Game's biggest to me, I've always felt like his biggest strength was his consistency when it comes to that. Once he's on you, he's on you. Pause. And the fan base, they don't like him. But no one said anything about when Ross was doing that little corny stuff when he was like, the BBL Drizzy and going on TikTok and all these other crazy forums being goofy. No one said anything to Ross about that. But
Correct.
now when Game asked you to put out a solid effort, a solid diss track. Now, granted, it came out of nowhere. He put a solid effort. Now they want to be like, yo, Game is crazy. Game shouldn't be jumping into this. Ross should never jump into the whole situation with Drake. So we got to keep it a buck across the board. If anybody I want to see go at somebody, it's Game against Ross. And I used to be a Ross fan,
Yeah.
but as of late, Ross been getting a little too big for his britches, pause, to the point where he think that he's bigger than what he really is. And I told y'all a couple weeks ago, I said Ross is a big distraction.
You did.
And Game
You did say
came
that.
out,
You
Game
said that.
removed him from that. Because now notice Ross hasn't said anything since Game made that record. He hasn't tweeted anything. He hasn't gone online or nothing like that. He did some goofy stuff in a skating rink and that's it and fell down like a goofy, but that was it. Other than that, he's not going to go back at Game. I enjoyed the record. It came and went. I'm be honest with you. I haven't listened to it since the weekend, but it came and went. But
But we gotta
I enjoyed
respect
it.
who Game is. Like, even though he does goofy stuff,
Yeah,
to me, he has one of the top 5 diss tracks of all time. Maybe not
absolutely.
5 is a stretch, maybe top 10. I think it
Top
would be
10.
ranked higher if the targets were a little bit, higher profile. But to me, Pest
Yeah.
Control is one of the best diss tracks ever.
Amazing.
Just scathing from top to bottom.
Amazing.
But Meek was already cooked by Drake, and Beans was on, downhill side of his career. So
He did
the
Beans
intended,
wrong, though. He did
yeah,
Beans wrong.
yeah, the intended targets for this track to be great, and we're gonna get to this in a minute. For this track to be great, truly great, the targets have to be of high stature and high profile. And I think Pest Control is not mentioned with a lot of these tracks because of who the targets were. But that's one of
No
my
doubt.
favorite diss records of all time. It doesn't get talked about enough. I think the joint he put out against Ross is tough as well. Dope beats. Had 2 different beats on there. Game is a spitter. I don't think it's left field as much as people say it is out of nowhere. If somebody and to kind of fly with is getting snuffed out 20v1, you might go and help. Might snuff one of the opposers out yourself. So I don't think it's as random as many people saying it is. So what you
Can
got,
I
Coop?
can I jump on that real quick? Pause. Can I jump on that? Because the 20v1 thing, this is not something new. We've seen this happen before, right? This is not like a whole redemption of something that just happened. There's a lot of things that happen 20 versus 1. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We had the whole Ja Rule thing, of course, we had
right.
before. They tried it with, at one point they tried it with Nas. State Property tried to get at Nas at one point because he hurt Jay feelings. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So this whole 20v1 thing, even Game was going at G Unit. And he
yeah,
went for Dolo for the most part.
yeah.
He took out G Unit for Dolo. So that whole 20v1 thing, with the whole Dre, this is not a new thing. This is real thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
Go ahead.
it
Go ahead,
does
cool.
make a little bit of a difference. Just to speak on this real quick before you go, Coop,
Yeah.
because like the Drake situation, his problem, I ain't gonna say his problem, but we only wanted to hear him rap against one guy, which was Kendrick.
Yeah.
That's all we
Yeah.
wanted to hear. But it does say something, regardless if Kendrick wanted help or not, he got help, because that does affect how the landscape looks, because you got
Absolutely.
all the Kendrick
Absolutely.
fans, riding for Kendrick. You can't convince me that like the same people who listen to Ross religiously are also listening to Kendrick like that. But they're going to
Absolutely.
ride for Kendrick because, Ross says, it's on against Drake. And then you got the Weeknd fan base, which is a large fan base. Metro Boomin did a whole, viral challenge with the BBL thing, and he's the most popular producer out here right now. So you got his whole fan base, Future's whole fan base. So all these fan bases combined, because it's going to be some overlap there. But once you combine all these fan bases going at one person as the ops, it is going to make a difference. So all those fan bases were in concert with Kendrick. So it did add a little extra to what, Kendrick was putting out against Drake, because he had all the other fan bases backing him as well. So I think it is something to be said for the 20v1, but Kendrick won it on his own back, won the battle. And we're going to get to that. But I'm not going to sit here and act like that didn't play a factor with those other fan bases,
No doubt.
What you got, Coop?
The Game diss record is dope because Game is dope. Game's a great battle rapper.
Yeah.
He's a great rapper. He's actually the holder of one of the better rap catalogs of the last 20 years.
Absolutely.
His rap catalog, how about this? It's like Game's rap catalog. Game's rap catalog or Freddie Gibbs' rap catalog?
Game. And it's not even close.
Correct.
No, better question. Game's catalog or Ross's catalog, the person that he dissed?
Game.
It's not by much. It's not by much. Ross's catalog is...
It's okay.
So here's what I'll tell you.
It's comparable.
Yeah.
Ross's best 5 albums and Game's best 5 albums, it doesn't play out the same. Because you got the documentary.
That's fair.
You got Doctor's Advocate.
Yes.
You got Jesus Piece.
The Red Album.
Jesus. Yes.
You got LAX. LAX is dope, nigga.
LAX
Bulletproof. I play Bulletproof Diaries with Ray all the time.
Yeah.
Angel with Common. House of Pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
LAX.
I will put Game catalog against Kendrick catalog.
I would too.
It's comparable. Most definitely comparable.
That's a beautiful view.
It's actually better because, and I'm not being shady when I say this, he's been here and done all of the work. You have to do all of the work. It's not what your talent says. It's what your output says. Like there are a lot of people who are more athletic and agile and have better talents and gifts than Tony Gwynn, but ain't nobody been better at hitting the baseball the last 50 years.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because he consistently stepped to the plate and made contact with the ball all the time. Game consistently has made contact throughout the course of his career, no matter what circumstance you put in. You put him with Dr. Dre, make a great album. Put him by himself, make a great album. Put him with G Unit, make a great album. Collaborations, make a great album. By himself, make a great album. Double album, make 2 great albums. He's got everything that you want in a catalog, and I'm a Ross guy. And I love Ross, but I'm with you. Like he beats Kendrick's catalog on volume. Like you might value Kendrick's songs more, but Kendrick don't have more bangers than Game. Like if Game were to go up against Kendrick and we're picking 20 songs, Kendrick is in trouble.
And plus, Game has more albums too to go to because Kendrick has a handful of albums.
Raps regularly. You have to rap regularly.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. And he doesn't have all the duds.
He became great. He became great by rapping regularly, guys.
Yes.
He's not a great MC on the documentary, but the guy on the Doctor's Advocate is pretty great. The guy that's popping up on LAX, it's like, damn, by the time you get into Jesus P, it's like, oh, this nigga's amazing.
He gets a lot of points deducted for 1, the goofy stuff he does, and then for 2, the name dropping, And then I think a lot of people don't like that he's a chameleon because he'll collaborate with artists and adaptive style, adaptive voices, and I think a lot of people don't like that. So
so we're talking about people don't like how he switch up, but we just got done having complaints early in the show about Conway keeping it the same. This is why I'm saying you can't really be feeding into that shit. Look at how we started off this show talking about Conway and people like, oh, it's not enough variety. And now we're getting the game and it's like, oh, well, he always be switching up. It's like, what the fuck do you want?
Well, fans are going to be inconsistent no matter what.
You pick and choose who you want to rock with regardless.
Right.
Yeah. It's because the game, the person. I've said this on our last 3 or 4 shows. It's not the message. It's the messenger that people are more so worried about. So
absolutely. I say that when I have that LeBron Steph KD conversation.
Yeah. But we got a $2 super chat real quick from Esquire. Shout out to you, Esquire. You've been, hitting us with the super chats. It says unpopular opinion, LAX is Game's second best album. The Doctor's Advocate and
I think you can argue Doctor's Advocate, and on a lot of levels, if we're talking about degree of difficulty, Doctor's Advocate is actually his best album.
Yeah, because he had been abandoned for real.
He'd been abandoned.
Yeah.
And most artists would have break after that because you lost the biggest producer at that time, Dre, and you lost the biggest movement.
And the biggest artist, biggest movement, biggest artist, biggest producer, biggest cosigns.
Yes.
And to make an album like that,
you followed up with
the Compton joint with Will I Am.
Yeah.
Compton with Will I Am, Wouldn't Get Far with Kanye, All Around the World with Jamie Foxx, Why You Hate the Game with Just Blaze and Nas, Old English, Scream on Them with Swiss.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Top to
Cali
bottom.
Vacation.
Yes.
Old English. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta again separate.
You gotta give it up the game.
Separate because no one knows Game personally. So let's keep it a buck. So separate your disdain for him for whatever antics he pulled and listen to the music. If you're a hip hop fan, you gotta appreciate what Game brings to the table.
But how many other people run around here pulling antics and we never say a fucking word about them?
Well, it's two people that suffer the most from this that have stellar catalogs. It's Game and it's T.I. Those are the two guys that suffer the most from this.
Look here. I'm an ATL guy, and I'm of the train of thought. T.I. is the most versatile MC to ever come out of this region, and I don't know if his catalog is better than Game's.
It's not. It's not. But he gets treated the same because of his antics. He gets treated the same.
I'll tell you why I feel that way though, because I do feel like Tip's best 4 or 5 albums compete with Game's best 4 or 5 albums. Now, maybe after that it becomes a Game conversation, but T.I. actually has a trap music to go up against a documentary. He has a Paper Trail to go up against Doctor's Advocate. He has a Urban Legend to go up against LAX. He has a King to go up against Jesus Peace. Like he has stuff to go up against it. So it is comparable for me. But because Game has worked and worked consistently, I can't say this enough, because he has worked consistently and built his craft and been consistent at releasing albums, he has amassed one of the better rap catalogs of all time. Like you can't,
and to that point,
like you can't deny the fucking music. I don't care if you don't like him or not. He's fucking
you got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. Cool. He also took down G Unit for Dolo.
He did, and then
take that off him.
And then to your point about working, I said it earlier about Paisley Dreams at the top of the year. That's coming off of releasing a double album the previous year with the Hard Verse Mod.
He sounds stellar on Paisley Dreams. He doesn't sound. He sounds stellar on Paisley Dreams.
He does.
He sounds stellar.
Sounds amazing. And we haven't even talked about the mixtapes that he's had.
No, that's crazy.
That's what I mean. This dude raps. He raps all the time.
He's a rapper. Cool. You and I were on the West Coast around the same time in 2004 when Game was coming out. I was living in San Diego. They were going crazy over the Game.
Crazy. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I've ever seen like it is Jeezy here. It's Jeezy here and Game in Cali. I ain't never seen no shit like that in my life. Like I haven't seen nothing like it since. It's been 20 years.
Never seen it. Yep. I was in a club looking goofy too. Tim's with some Nietzsche button ups, Yankee fitted.
You gotta get some Dickies and some Vans back then. You needed some Dickies and some Vans.
Yo, Coop, I was so New York in those San Diego clubs. Timberlands dragging the floor with the Nietzsche.
You want to know what's crazy is that I've always had both. Like I've always liked Dickies and Tim's, so it's like I had like all that shit. So it's like
you wore Dickies with the Tim's. You wore Dickies with the Tim's.
No. I'm saying I've always had both. So you transition. It's like the Tim's. The Tim's never got broke out while I was in Cali. The Dickies.
Yeah.
Like every fucking weekend.
I never wore Dickies.
Gotta get some Dickies.
I did the Dickies with the Tips, but we'll move on.
Wow. AG wear lugs. I bet AG wore lugs back in the day.
That's crazy.
Never rock lugs on way above.
That's crazy. Moving on, guys. So we talked about the beef a little bit. Y'all want to go ahead and put a bow on the Kendrick and Drake thing moving forward. Because seemingly the battle's over at this point.
First of all, you want to know what? I'm starting off. No, I have something to say.
I didn't even get the full question out.
I don't care.
He was waiting.
No. I'm serious when I say this. Drake, you owe me an OVO jacket. Because I'm the only nigga in Atlanta that took up for you. I'm gonna need a white leather OVO jacket. Needs to say Coupe and Carolina blue letters on one side.
You a Duke fan? Don't do that.
I'm still from North Carolina. We're going to take the Carolina blue because it looks better on the white leather. The Carolina blue is going to look better on the white leather. I want my white leather. You owe me a white leather. I'm going to need the Hip Hop Talks patch. You can throw a little OVO patch on there since niggas think I'm campaigning for you anyway. But you owe me a white leather, a butter soft white leather, coupe Carolina blue, Hip Hop Talks patch, OVO patch. Because nigga, nobody in Atlanta supported you except for me. I want my jacket when you come to the city. I want my white leather. I want my butter soft white leather. Don't be getting that cheap leather. I know what Italian leather is, nigga. I got one in the closet. Bring me some Italian leather.
Yo.
Don't bring me no California leather.
The coupe rents, OVO coupe.
I want my jacket. I want my butter soft white leather.
That's crazy.
So double crazy. Double crazy. I see you double crazy out there.
He said the OVO patch. But
watch your tone. You watch your tone. Whoever said that, you watch your tone.
But yeah, I think that the battle's seemingly over, right? And Kendrick is evidently the victor.
There's about to be some petty shots taken. I feel like over the course of the summer, but it's over.
Definitely.
I think that Drake's gonna go back to doing subs. And the other day, it was election day 2 days ago, gentlemen, and I was talking to one of my homies, and he was like, "You know what? We was talking about voting." He was like, "Drake lost his battle because most of his fans ain't gonna go to the polls and vote for him, man. Like, cause he hit me with the cannabis line. He said 99% of his fans wear high heels. And they're not going to get in these debates and stuff. So
they don't even care. They don't even care.
They don't.
They still love him all the same. They're unaffected by it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hip hop casuals. But what I'll say about the battle is two things. For Kendrick winning, I think that he definitely won, and we know it's how he released the records, because if you line the records up, they're very comparable as far as spit and bar work or what have you. But I think where I'm gonna give kudos to Kendrick on this is because he approached this Kendrick is very conceptual, right? And I think he approached this battle like he would approach making an album. I think when he set it off on like that, he already had a lot of these records in the tuck. He just kind of fine-tuned them or whatever. I got the West Coast banger. I got the joint where I psychoanalyze him. I got the joint where I'm talking to his family. I got, I think he already had the concepts done and then the skeletons of each song. And I think he approached it like an album because he gave him pretty much a 4-pack, an EP of diss records, right? And I think in the grand scheme of things, since the last hit was Not Like Us, which is a banger, but I think it's overblown, and we're going to get to the rankings in a minute. I think it's overblown because it was the last in a series of hits in a combo. Remember on a couple shows ago, I said he might not get that knockout punch, but he's got a combo going, right? Not Like Us was the last hit in that combo. He got hit with a 4-pack in about a 2-week span. But just putting things in proper perspective, man, I just think back to how dope, bringing Nas into it again. Imagine if, this wasn't close together, but imagine if the Eye for an Eye freestyle, the Paid in Full joint, the Stillmatic freestyle, Ether, and Last Real Nigga Live was a 4-pack. You know what I'm saying? That was presented like that. They were spaced out a little bit more, but that 4-pack looks more impressive than this 4-pack. But I just think
Come and Get Me was a cheap shot too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the way Kendrick produced the records one after another, it was just like a crazy combo that, put Drake on the map. But here's the thing though. I think this approach has got him back into a rhythm, dissing Drake, but that's been the topic of all his raps. If this is transitioning to album mode, he's hot as fish grease right now. He doesn't need to fumble the bag, because I haven't seen anybody this hot at one particular time in recent years since Jada did the verses against Dipset. So if Kendrick doesn't drop an album this year, I think that's going to be fumbling the bag.
This is about his album.
It's a rollout. I believe that too.
This is about his album.
It has to land though. It has to land. That's the
I
biggest
think it
thing at
will.
this point.
I think it
Well, this is
will.
what I keep saying.
We'll see.
Okay, so let's have a little legacy talk. Because here's how I feel about this. Well, the best ability is availability.
Right.
He's been available right now.
Mm-hmm.
But for the better part of the last 7 years, he has not been available.
Right.
But if we're going to do legacy, we got...
No, hold on, AG. That's not making me a hater. That's a fact. He's made one rap album in 7 years. One. In the last 7 years, he's made one rap album. And so this looks more like a revival to me than some sort of coronation. But the revival's not complete without the project that reflects it. And much like Ghostface, the standards for Kendrick are high. Mm-hmm. Maybe even higher than Ghostface according to the masses.
Oh, absolutely high.
And so understand the reason that I called that album so bad, and the reason that I think that album is so bad, well, go look at the 3 to 4 previous rap albums that he made and tell me that it's not a precipitous drop-off in quality of music that he made with his last project, which is the only project and piece of work that we have to go off the last 7 years. I'm not pivoting off of that because he won this battle. Now, does he deserve maybe to be bumped up some notches because he won this battle and kind of put himself in more of a number one position in terms of this generation? Absolutely. But does that make him one of the greatest MCs of all time? Necessarily in terms of cracking the top 10. Let me finish, AG, for real. Like, does that make him the number one? Does that make him the top 10 MC of all time? I don't think so necessarily, because none of those other guys had a 7-year run where they did shit like this, where there was only one project to speak of and the project was this poor. Nobody else that's in that conversation that he getting placed in has done that. Now, why is he getting a pass? Because
there is somebody who's in the conversation.
Not 7 years in this whack shit.
It is. We got to start telling the truth. If we holding Kendrick's feet to the fire, we got to do this. So two things real quick. I think that Kendrick, let me finish. Hold on. I think Kendrick is in a rhythm where he won this battle because he did a better Drake impression than Drake could do a Kendrick impression, right? He's making the hit records. He's making, conceptual joints. He's still spitting lyrically. He have, both fan bases in the palm of his hand. So if he's in album mode, he's in a good rhythm. But, to the 5-year break, we got to stop harping on that so much because it's been done. Look,
no, I didn't see that. No, you're not listening, AG. I said 7 years,
no,
one album.
7.
It's been 7 now. It's 2024. Okay. It's not 2022 anymore, my G. It's 2024. And he's made one rap album in 7 years. Go show me the other top 10 MC. He's made one rap album in 7 years, and the shit is trashy like this.
Cool. You could be loud and wrong. So where do you got Rakim ranked at?
Okay, Rakim never made. Okay, so before you even go there,
I asked you where you got him ranked at. You're not answering the question. Where do you got him ranked at?
He's top 5. He's above Kendrick.
Did he slide because of his 5-year break?
No, because he came back with a quality project. The 18th letter is dope.
Nobody talks about the 18th letter. Let's be real. Nobody. We got to start telling some harsh truths. Nobody talks about the 18th letter. And our main beef with Kendrick is that he took those 5 years off in his prime. But what I got here is Kendrick was listen.
Listen. Letter is way better than Mr. Morale.
Listen,
like leaps and bounds better.
Not even close.
It's got the saga begins.
No.
Fuck all that. No, you're trying to downplay the 18th letter. It's been a long time.
It's not like that.
Premiere. It's got the saga begins produced by Pete Rock. Those 2 records are blowing everything out on Mr. Morale.
You know what covered it up? Because it had the greatest hits attached to it too. So we forget about how the new material sounded because it had the greatest hits. Like, we got to start telling the harsh truths about our legends sometimes. So Kendrick took his 5-year break from the age of 29 to 34, which we think is his prime. Rakim at 92, when Don't Sweat the Technique came out, and then the 18th later came out in 97, he was 24 years old and came back at 29. Now, granted, back then, MCs had running back years. But if we're going to hold Kendrick to that standard, we got to hold Rod to that same standard.
Adriel, I don't think you understand.
Tell me why it's different.
No. I'm about to tell you exactly why it's different. When Rakim stepped away from the mic, he was widely considered to be the greatest MC of all time when he stepped away. Am I wrong, Sean?
He was.
Am I wrong?
But that's what we hold against Kendrick because he stepped away in his prime.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. Now say whatever you want to say about the 18th letter. When he came back, he showed lyrical capability and skills and talent and songs on that album that were worthy of his all-time great and greatest MC of all-time placement. That's why I'm bringing up It's Been a Long Time. The saga begins.
He wasn't better than an MC that dropped on that same day.
No, he wasn't better than 97 Hove, but that's not what we're talking about. You're trying to change the conversation. I'm saying that guy that left, when he left at number one all time. Kendrick didn't leave number one all time when he left. That's the first thing.
No.
Okay, so stop making the comparison. One guy, when he stepped away, was considered to be the greatest MC of all time.
Right.
So Kendrick ain't never been considered the greatest MC of all time. So
but
that's not
came after Rakim. The field got deeper after Rakim, though.
Would you let me finish and listen to what I'm saying? When Rakim came back, he showed traces of that guy. Where the fuck do you see traces of Good Kid, Mad City on Mr. Morale?
No, but we're seeing that now.
None of these records are good enough to make Good Kid, Mad City, Adriel. That's wild.
It
not like us again. Make Good Kid, Mad City.
No, it cannot.
No.
God, no. Good Kid, Mad City is arguably Good Kid, Mad City is arguably the best rap album of the last 15 years. Hell no, that song's not good enough to
not
make
like
that
us
album.
won't make it. Not like us will be on the cutting floor.
Mama Single Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, Backseat Freestyle, Bitch You Don't Kill My Vibe, Money Trees, Master Splinter, Deranged Daughter, Real, Compton.
Not like us saying not like us, not like that. Trust me.
No.
Y'all hate on the West Coast for real.
No, I love the
West Coast. I'm running down all the names of the tracks on Good Kid, Mad City. Name the record that I said that record's fucking with.
Man, not like us is hard. Y'all tripping. But
not fucking with anything on Good Kid, Mad City.
But here's the thing. But listen, but the whole thing with Rakim, you gotta hold Rakim to the same standard that you holding Kendrick to because of the break. Because he took the break in his prime. So that's even more of an indictment. If you saying he stepped away as the greatest at that time and took a 5-year break, that's more, you arguing that point, but that's more of an indictment on Rod than it is on Kendrick.
Is the 18th letter better than Mr. Morale, AG? And was Rakim better than Kendrick when he left?
Why you act like you're thinking about that?
If the answers to both of those questions and yes, then I'm right.
The 18th letter got better records, like a handful of songs, but as an overall project, I don't think it's that far.
Hold up.
All right, name me your top 5 joints off the 18th letter. Go.
No. Hold on. No. You can't skip past the Mr. Morale. He asked Mr. Morale versus 18th letter. And you have to keep pondering on that. Like, what's that?
18th letter might be a little bit better, but the gap's not crazy.
The gap is not crazy.
18th letter wasn't like that. Y'all know it wasn't like that.
Okay,
Mr. Morale is not like that.
What's your top 5 joints on 18th letter? You can't name 5 joints off 18th letter.
Actually, yes, I can. I'm about to. Hold on. I'm about to, actually. So I'll go in order of how I think that they rank. I think The Saga Begins by Pete Rock is the best song on the album.
That's dope.
I think It's Been a Long Time by DJ Premier is second. I think New York, produced by DJ Premier, is third.
But look what you're doing, Coop. Those caveats. You buy produced by Pete Rock, produced by DJ Premier, you know what I'm saying? You're naming the producers for what is Rakim doing on these songs?
No. Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm naming the producers because educationally and informationally, we may have some people who may not know who did those records because we may have people following us.
I see right through that BS, Coop. You ain't doing that.
I see
through that BS. You ain't doing that.
Hold on. You're asking me to name the records, but you're not letting me name the records. So you're gonna
let Sean name the records because I know you know 5 records. I want Sean to name 5 off 18th letter.
This is not my.
Guess who's back? Produced by. Hold on.
You're just here for support.
Hold on. Guess who's back? Which was the first single produced by Clark Kent, who was also
that was hard. I love that record.
So I just gave you 4, and for me, I would say The Mystery, Who Is God, would be my number 5.
That's a dope record.
So AG, why don't you name?
So
three of
name me
Mr.
5
Morale?
records on Mr. Morale that's fucking with those 5
No,
records that I
I
named.
make it easy.
different.
I make it easy for you.
No.
Just do
You
3.
asked me to name 5 records.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
no, Sean. He asked me to name 5 records on the 18th letter.
I'm telling
I want you to name 5 records on Mr. Morale, and look how
But here's
fucking
the
crazy
thing.
you sound.
He
No,
can't.
listen to how fucking crazy you're about to sound putting
can't.
those
Okay.
5
Name
records
5.
against
Name
5
5.
Rock M
Rewind the
records.
tape.
Are the same.
Remind the tape. When did I ever say I was a big fan of Mr. Morale? Because y'all hyping up the 18th letter. When did I say I was a big fan of Mr. Morale?
It's way better. No, you're saying that the
It's
albums
better.
are comparable. I'm saying name
Yeah.
those 5 songs,
Name
and I'm
5.
going to tell you that it's not comparable.
Name 5.
Stop it. I said
Name
y'all
Name
moving the
5.
goalposts.
No.
Name 5. Name
No.
5.
Because I
Name
said,
5.
listen,
Name 5.
because I said y'all are not
Name 5.
holding Rod to the same standard that y'all holding
We
Kendrick
are.
to.
Now name the 5 records.
Name 5.
I'm not.
5.
I don't listen to Mr. Morale like that. I'm telling you that.
Then what are we talking about?
So hold on.
I don't listen to 18th letter like that either. When was the
AG.
last time y'all played 18th letter? Be for real.
AG.
We gotta start telling the
AG.
truth about our legends, bro. For real.
So AG, if I can remember 5 records off the top of my head from when that album came out when I was 15 going on 16 years old, it literally came out right before I turned 16, and you can't remember 5 songs from 2 years ago, and you're sitting up here trying to make a comparative analysis.
Y'all are changing the argument.
No, you said that those albums were close.
You said you love 18th letter. Did you not? Did you not?
You just said that Mr. Morale and the 18th letter were close. Now you're going to name 5 records and prove it.
Rewind the tape. I said the 18th letter had better individual records, but as an overall project, they're comparable. That's what I said.
Named 5 of the fucking 13 songs on the album. Name 5 of the
what was the rest of them like, Cool? What was the rest of them like?
Hold on. The 18th letter intro is hard too. The intro to the album is hard too. So is Stay a While, which was
does anybody talk about the 18th letter other than you, Coop?
Name 5. Name 5, Adriel.
I don't like Mr. Morale like that. I keep trying to tell y'all.
That's all I'm saying. Listen.
Hold on. Y'all are turning this into a Mr. Morale versus 18th letter argument, which it is not.
You did.
You brought up the 5-year break. What were the albums after the 5-year break?
Yeah.
It don't matter. What was the albums like? You know what I'm saying?
How does it not matter when you brought it up? You brought up the 5-year break.
You gotta hold it to the same standard. You gotta hold them to the same standard. You didn't drop Rakim on your list.
Hold on. You're missing.
Did you drop Rakim? Did you drop Rakim when he came back?
Huh?
Because the 18th letter is not on the level of his 4 albums with Eric B. Is it not?
No, it's not.
Okay, so did you drop his status in?
Actually, to be honest with you, I think it and Don't Sweat the Technique are actually comparable albums because Don't Sweat
the worst. Don't Sweat the Technique was the worst of the 4 with Eric B. Yes, but at the same time,
the is better than everything on Don't Sweat the Technique.
But did you drop Rod's status based on the merit of what he was putting at, or just other dudes past him, namely like Big, Jay, Nas, or Pac? Or did you drop Rakim like, yo, Rakim been gone for 5 years and he came out with an okay project, so I'm gonna drop him down on my list? That's not based on the merit of what Rakim's doing. That's based on other people passing them up. You saying Kendrick needs to be dropped down based on taking that 5-year break and then coming out with an equality with a project that's not as quality.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he
needs that's to what you've been saying.
I'm saying he doesn't need to be as high as he has been to begin with. I said that this guy is a top 10 MC all time based on the trajectory of when Damn was last released. Since then, he has not kept up that trajectory. So the slide has to do with him not keeping pace with the trajectory. Not that he's not deserving.
Neither was Rakim. That's what I'm saying. If you say he was the greatest thing he left.
So listen to what I'm saying when I say this. Kendrick's trajectory when Damn got released was creeping into the top 10. When Rakim left, he was number 1. Those slides are not created equally, sir, as in Rakim may have slid, but he slid from like 1 to like 3, 4, or 5. Kendrick has slid from like 10 to 15. So I have been accurate with the slide because where I hold Rakim right now personally on my list is behind Nas, objectively, behind Jay, objectively, behind Pac, objectively, and so I have him at number 4. So he did slide 3 places objectively.
But it's most of that merit.
Same slide that I've given to Kendrick because I had Kendrick at around 11 or 12, and right now it's looking more like 15, 16. So
but is that merit based on more so Rakim coming back and not being up to par, or what Jay-Z, Nas, and Big and all them were doing themselves?
Can I tell you the truth?
Of course,
I remember exactly
tell the truth.
I remember exactly where I was because I bought the 18th letter in volume 1 on the same day, and I listened to the 18th letter first because I was more excited about Rakim coming back than Jay's second album. As soon as I listened to A Million and One Question, I was like, it's a new day.
You can hear the difference. You can hear the difference in it.
You can hear the difference. That's how the rap game goes. But Rakim was good enough with the 18th letter that he was walking around and he was still in the conversation with Nas and Big and Jay and KRS for greatest MC of all time. He was still in that conversation because of you could hear the high level of lyricism still being exhibited on the 18th letter. The thing that has made Kendrick great is his album making ability. He just made a bad album. Not one song on Mr. Morale is one of his top 20 or 30 songs. There is some top 20, 30
But we gotta keep it a buck. Our favorite Nas made Nostradamus. Like, what are we doing? Like, we gotta keep it a buck. The 5-year break adds
is way
to
better
that.
than Mr. Morale.
Nostradamus is better. I agree with that. But I'm asking you a question though. So you're saying it's the combination of the 5-year break, and then when you come back, you don't deliver something even close to being up on par with what you delivered before.
Listen, how about this? It's literally like somebody who's batting 330, 340 for their career, coming back and batting 270. It's like, where's the motherfucker that's batting 330, 340? Like, where's that guy at? It's like, did you?
But I don't think I don't think the album is bad enough to drop him like 5 slots based off that one album alone. That's crazy to me.
It's not just the one album. It's been 7 years since you sounded great consistently.
Yeah.
Rakim still sounds great on the 18th letter, Adriel. Kendrick doesn't sound great on Mr. Morale. That's what I'm saying. Rakim still sounds great on the 18th letter. The saga begins. My eyes is a photography lens. Properly show gems and properly push pins and show qualities of gems. The horrors be grim. But maybe tomorrow we win if we count all the dollars and keep track. No, it's not the same thing.
It wasn't a drop off. Lyrically, he didn't drop off.
Lyrically, he didn't drop off. He just wasn't in tune, and he wasn't his touch. His best days had passed him by. But lyrically, he was still.
And the soundscape.
How about this?
Soundscape played a factor.
Lyrically, if we're talking lyrically, the only guys lyrically that had proven that they had passed him by 1997 were Jay and Nas. If we're just talking lyrically, as far as past him,
by 96, Nas had passed him.
That's what I'm saying. So it was written in like 96, 97. Hov were the only guys lyrically better than Rakim after a 5-year break. Like, dude, there's a slew of guys that's been out rapping Kendrick for the last 7 years. A slew.
Because everything. Get the 2 super chats real quick.
Okay, I see one from Tracy G. Said if mass majority is saying Family Matters is the best diss out of the beef, but think K.Dot won due to strategy and impact, did Dot get what he wanted? Drake still made the best song. I think you can make a better song and still lose a battle, because I still stand on, I think Duppy is a better rap diss than Adidon. It's just what was said in Adidon that lost Drake the battle. You know, a lot of people probably would disagree with me, but you know, you can still have the better song and lose a battle. It's other things that come into play with that. Do y'all agree with that?
I see where you're going with it, so I'm gonna like be somewhere in the middle on that, because Adidon to me was kind of like, it was a knockout blow, but Pusha T had already been kind of tenderizing him anyway, like Infrared, Exodus, like all the cheap shots. So it's like he had already roughed Drake up a little bit to go deliver that knockout blow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like he didn't need to hit as hard in round 10 as he did in round 2, because he hit him good in round 2. Right. Round 10 is just when Drake got dropped.
Infrared is like, you know, a better record than Adidon to me. I'm not seeing a second. Okay, Stacks got it up. Appreciate you, Stacks. The other super chat is a $5 by Art of Nobody. Kendrick turning clout chaser instead of doing the hard labor. The Drake effect. Laugh out loud. Much love to y'all.
Hey, let's be honest. If Kendrick was like that, why wasn't he breaking these streaming records and getting these #1 records before he had a beef with Drake? Would anybody like to explain where's that notoriety and that clout been the last 7 years? If he's really
a lot of it has to do who the intended subject is. So we already discussed that on the last show because a lot of it's doing.
Want my white leather, Drake?
But I'm asking a question because I really don't know. Did Damn not have any #1 records? I thought Damn had some #1 records on there.
I don't think it did.
I don't think so. Loyalty was probably the best tracking one, or Humble was Humble, and Humble's not even a top 5 song on Damn.
Somebody in the chat fact check us on that, but I thought Damn had at least 1 or 2 #1 records.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But But yeah, so when we're talking legacy talk, before we get to the diss stuff, so we agree to disagree about holding Ryan and Kendrick to the same standard. But Punch put out his top 5 list, which if
I slide a guy from 1 to 4, and then I slide another guy from 11 to 15, how am I being biased?
Okay, that's fair. Because if he was starting out at 11, he was at about 11 to you to start out with.
I think when I did the review for Damn and wrote the article, I believe I had him somewhere at like 12 or 13, like around Redman and LL.
Okay.
And so in 7 years, no, time has not proven that he deserves that. So I have pushed him back to like 15 to 17 area. Now about this battle and being fair about legacy talk and being objective, I can slide him back to maybe where he was before this last 7 years, but that's still like 12 or 13. It's not top 10. But
see, I'm going to sound crazy because that's where I have a problem. You know what I mean? If you're going to move him up based on that. And I'm not saying you in general, Coop, because, reacting to Punch's top 5, he said his, and for the people that didn't see it, and he said Jay was #1, Pac was #2, Kendrick was #3, Big was #4, and Nas was #5. Now, by that logic, he said he moved them up based on, this battle. And for a lot of people, Drake wasn't even supposed to be in the ring with Kendrick, right? So you're getting extra points for beating somebody who you were supposed to beat anyway. But then the math ain't mathing because you still got Jay at #1, but the person who beat Jay, your #1 guy, is at #5. Make it make sense to me. So, that's what I question. Because a lot of these people probably think he was supposed to beat Drake anyway. So if we're talking legacy talk, I think not only does Dot move up the list, I think Drake needs to move up the all-time list as well. Granted, you got the ghostwriting stuff and all that's going to count against him. But a lot of people didn't think he could stand next to Kendrick toe-to-toe and be in the ring. And that boy rapped his ass off. You know what I'm saying? And he lost, but he always comes outside when it's time to scrap. And he was rapping. So I think for the hip hop heads, Drake needs to be elevated a little bit, not much, but a little bit, even in a loss. Because, but look, it would if Drake wasn't like that, it wouldn't have took 4 records to get him up out of here.
Punch need to just keep cashing them scissor checks. Kendrick ain't no goddamn #3.
That's it.
No. He's not number 3. Top 10 is more real. Top 10 is more realistic. If you're talking about max level,
no, it's not.
Max level cracking the top 10 is the most realistic. Top 5, no.
Okay, let me ask you something, AG.
Yo.
Do you have Kendrick ranked higher than LL Cool J?
Yes.
That's crazy.
How?
That is
Explain
crazy.
To me how. Explain.
All right. So we talk
outside of albums. Tell me
that is
better than LL Cool
that's
J.
crazy.
Okay, better lyricist.
What's Kendrick's verse of the year verse?
This year, or just in general?
Any year. When has he had the verse of the year?
LL Cool J ain't got a verse like Nostalgia. Nowhere.
Pusha T rapped him on Nostalgia.
That's debatable. But we're not talking about Pusha T. We're talking about LL Cool J. Cool. Does LL Cool J have a verse better than Kendrick's verse? See how you do? Yeah, nah. You ain't doing that.
I personally think Mama Said Knock You Out versus. I love Mama Said Knock You Out.
No, I'm sorry.
I shot your remix verse.
It's more iconic, but it's not better.
I don't have Kendrick over LL.
Say that again. Say that again. It's what?
More iconic as a song, but the verses are not better.
Okay, so he's better lyrically. He's better than album making. Continue. Where else?
I mean, we can stop right there. Like, what else? You know what I'm saying? LL got more hits.
Oh, I would just start right there.
Present your argument, sir.
I would just start right there, though.
Present your argument.
Why would you cut it off?
Yo,
Present
Queens
your
get the
argument.
money. Queens get the money. Talk to your man.
Present your argument. Who has more flows? Who has more pocket work?
Come on, AG.
Hold on. L is literally.
Don't act like LL can flow with Kendrick.
AG.
Don't do that.
L has literally changed his flow and his style like 3 or 4 different times in his career to stay relevant. So if you're talking about who has more flows, then the answer actually is LL, because LL has actually had to change his flow succinctly over course of time.
I know he's had to change it, Coop, but you saying with a straight face that LL has better flows than Kendrick. You saying that with a straight face.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Are you confusing vocal inflection with flow?
Simple question. Like, do we or do we not?
If we're talking about flows, I'm taking LL because LL has literally deliveries of flows that have been canonized from era to era. Kendrick has had the same flow since To Pimp a Butterfly.
Facts.
Kendrick has more than one flow, dog.
It's been the same the set of flows that he had on To Pimp a Butterfly has not grown or expanded itself since To Pimp a Butterfly.
I think the main thing that LL has over Kendrick is voice. Kendrick's voice is what keeps him from climbing real high in the ranks. That's his main Achilles heel for me, because I don't like Kendrick's voice at all. You know what I mean? And LL has a dope rap voice. But outside of like the longevity and the hit making and the voice.
Hey, who's in your top 10?
You want me to run through it?
Yeah, I would appreciate it.
All right. Nas number 1, Jay number 2, Big number 3, Pac number 4. Number 5 is a bias pick, but I got Jadakiss at number 5. Jadakiss ain't never spit a whack verse in his life. Told you I got M at 6. I got Rod 7. I got Scarface at 8. I got Cube at 9. And then the caveat was I took 3,000 out because no solo work. So he had to move out. And then after this, I moved Kendrick into 10 because he was at 11 or 12 anyway, with him and Wayne going back and forth. So
you have Kendrick ahead of Wayne and ahead of Ghost and ahead of KRS-One.
Now I'm glad you brought up KRS-One. I don't have Ghost. Goodness. Now listen. Now me and Shonda had this conversation 4 times over. I'm gonna break it down for you. I refuse to put
Kendrick's catalog isn't as good as Ghost's catalog.
Listen, Ghostface, I omit all Wu members from my top 10 because it's one of those things where the sum is better than the whole. And it's like picking your kids. Listen. Let me finish.
I can't do this.
No. Listen. No. Deck is my favorite in the Wu, but he's not the best. Ghost is the best. But I'm not going to put any of the Wu in my top 10 because it's like picking your kids. So I'll eliminate them from contention of individual MCs. The Wu is the best overall group. I just personally refuse to put any one particular member in the top 10. It's like picking between your children for me. So I'm not going to do that. Y'all not going to impress me to do that. So 1, that's why Ghost is not in there. KRS-One, I'm the wrong person to be objective about KRS because he got classic songs and classic albums, but I've never been a big KRS-One fan. I'm just be honest. Like him talking like he was the authority on hip hop always rubbed me the wrong way. Pause. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like
this is not.
Okay. But
wow.
Okay. This is what
I don't know.
We gotta start, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna start telling the truth about some of the legends, right? Because some of these guys, like, you get mad at Kendrick for taking a 5-year hiatus and then coming back without a quality album.
Like, definitely no fucking hiatus.
If you got Slick Rick in your top 10, Slick got 1 classic album. And granted, he was locked up for a long time, but he's alive and well and still breathing. Thank God he's still with us and not putting up any material. Big Daddy Kane, if you got Kane in your top 10, Kane got 1 classic album. And if you watch the verses, he can still spit at a high level and not putting out any work. So if we're going to do that, we got to be consistent.
That would be great. But
I'm just saying the stuff y'all too uncomfortable to say. For real, we got to be honest.
No. Hold on. First of all, I have Kendrick ahead of Slick Rick and ahead of Big Daddy Kane. So you bringing them up means absolutely nothing to me. Now I want you to listen to me very carefully.
Now who do you have ahead of them? You got Red.
Let me talk, AG.
No.
Let me talk. Here's the reality of the matter.
All right.
Before KRS ever made a quote unquote solo album, his Boogie Down Productions catalog rivals Kendrick's whole career before he even made Return of the Boom Bap, KRS-One the album, or I Got Next. And so if Kendrick's strength is album making and lyricism, there is no way fundamentally, based on what you said, that you can have KRS-One behind him, because KRS-One has the better catalog and it's a superior lyricist. No, you're not about
fundamentally. Listening is fundamental. Listening is fundamental.
AG, I'll let you talk.
I said I'm the wrong one to ask about KRS.
No, I'm not letting you.
I'm not a KRS fan.
I let you talk, and I let you talk your shit. The answer is no. We're about to talk about this KRS, but no, I'm not letting it happen. KRS-One made 4 Boogie Down production albums. KRS-One made 4 Boogie Down production albums that rivals.
I don't give a damn. I don't care, bro.
KRS-One is the superior lyricist. No, you just told me that what made Kendrick special was his lyricism and his album making ability. KRS-One is better at both of them. So explain to me how the fuck you have Kendrick ahead of KRS with those things being true. This is not conjecture that I am spitting. These are facts.
Well, first of all, listening is fundamental, and nigga, you don't listen because I said that I'm the wrong person.
We brought up LL Cool J. You said Kendrick was a better lyricist and album maker.
I said I'm the wrong person to ask about KRS-One because I've never been a KRS-One fan like that. But he has classic albums.
Your job is to objectively be able to disseminate this culture. So what you personally feel don't really fucking matter about
and I objectively know
what's going on. And objectively what's going on is KRS-One's a better lyricist and album maker than Kendrick. It don't matter.
He got like 30 albums, Coop. Name 10 of them, bro. Like, come on now. We got to be honest about some of these legends now.
Yo, get the super chat real quick.
Oh, from 88 Spence, we got
like 3
$5 joint. It's an AG. You need to listen to the song 18th Letter again. Rob Flow and Rob Scheme was crazy. Yeah, Rob was spitting on that. Let's see who else we got. Joe Young with the $2. Appreciate it. Nas, Jay, Ice Cube, Pac, Rakim, top 5 rappers. Thanks for putting your top 5 in the chat. And who else we got? Let's see. $2 super chat for Stephanie Young. How everything going, guys? It's going well, but Coop ain't listening. Coop ain't listening. Coop can't hear. You know what I'm saying? Coop can't hear.
No. It's not going well. Oh, I hear what you're saying. It just sounds like bullshit to me. Let me go down my top. Let me go down the MCs that I have ahead of Kendrick.
Wait, listening 101. I said I am the Coop's trying to make me be objective about KRS-One when I said specifically I am the wrong person to ask about KRS.
Not to be objective. This is part of what we do.
That's like asking you to be objective about Eminem, bro. Like, don't do that. Like, don't do that.
But I make valid assertions when I talk about Eminem's placement.
Don't do that. You just like who you don't like. Let's keep it a buck. I'm willing to keep it a buck and put that on the table. You know what I'm saying?
How about this? Eminem's has 3 albums that rival Kendrick's best 3 albums. It's just Kendrick wins on every measure of those 3 albums. In my opinion,
I think Eminem and Kendrick are comparable. I think they're very comparable. You know, I'll be honest.
First of all, I'm not letting this KRS-One shit go. Just so we're clear.
You can have it. KRS-One will never make it into my top 10, like ever.
Can I name the MCs that I think are better than Kendrick Lamar for you? Is that okay?
I'll say yes or no.
Nas.
Of course.
AG. I don't need you to say yes or no. I need you to actually, let me lane it. Let me name mine the way that you named yours without being interrupted.
Go ahead.
Nas is better. Jay is better. Big is better. Pac is better. Rakim is better. Scarface is better. Ice Cube is better. Ghostface Killah is better.
Nigga, you said all those same ones I said, except for Ghost.
Except for Ice Cube, I don't think. You didn't say Ice Cube.
Ice Cube was my number 9. Ice Cube used to be my favorite rapper before Nas. Like I said, you don't be listening, bro. Like, Ice Cube was right after Scarface.
Okay, whenever you want to let me finish, KRS-One is better. No. Black Thought is better. Black Thought is better. No. Yes, he is. Black Thought has just as many quality. But Black Thought got better solo performances, and he's a better lyricist than Kendrick. I'm sorry. He's a better lyricist, and he's got classic root stuff, and he's made great solo material now.
Keep going.
Because Cheat Codes is better than anything that Kendrick's done the last 7 years. Am I right or am I wrong?
So you mean Mr. Morale? You limited it to Mr. Morale. All right.
I think Cheat Codes is better than Damn too. If you really want to start,
who has the better catalog? Period.
If we're including the Roots catalog, it's Thought.
I disagree, but I mean he has a solid catalog with the Roots. He has a good catalog with the Roots.
But you do know Thought is like the solo MC on like a good portion of those Roots records, right?
Nah,
like,
I didn't know that.
On Do You Want More, Philadelphia Half-Life Things Fall Apart. Well, you're acting like you don't know. I mean, you don't know about KRS-One either, so apparently I have to educate you today.
You don't know about KRS-One or LL Cool J.
I think LL is rated too low. Go ahead, keep going.
Black Thought is ahead of him. Jadakiss is ahead of him. Redman is ahead of him.
Redman, yes.
I respect Red being ahead of him.
And so I have LL ahead of him. I just named you 13 guys ahead of him, and they all have valid claims about why they should be ahead of him.
Well, I only disagree with two, Coop. That's Black Thought, KRS.
Redman, KRS.
I respect Redman because Redman's catalog is stellar. But as far as content, Kendrick digs deeper than Redman. You know what I'm saying? So content wise, I think Kendrick edges him because of content. Now, LL Cool J, we already went through that. I disagree with KRS, disagree with Black Thought, and I just don't. Ghostface is better, but I didn't put Ghostface in there as a personal choice because I'm not picking between my kids. That's all I'm saying. So only disagree with three. You named the same niggas that I named, bro. Like you ain't really named nobody different.
AG, when you're saying that, like the difference. Hold on. The difference in three is the difference between being 10 or being 13. So when you're acting like that doesn't matter, it does. Because that's the difference. Like the difference between the three people that you name, that's the difference between being 10 and being inside the 10 and being 13. So when you're saying you're trying to downplay it like those three slots don't matter. No, nigga, those three slots matter.
They do. But check this out. So you're saying definitively that KRS, LL, and Black Thought are all three decisively better than Kendrick. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Or is this a conversation? Because if it's even a conversation, then that don't matter.
Hold on. The KRS-One thing is not even fucking conversational. Just so we're clear.
To you. Okay. Keep going.
No. Factually.
To you.
Factually.
Like I said, I can't be objective when it comes to KRS because I'm not a fan.
That's fine. Ask somebody who knows. MCs act like they don't know. Apparently, so do podcasters.
Sean ain't a fan. Sean ain't a fan either because look what he did to Queen. Sean don't like KRS.
I respect KRS.
Now, if you want to have a LL or a Black Thought conversation,
what do you mean?
If you want to have a LL or Black Thought conversation, we can. But you don't want to have no lyrical conversation and be toting Kendrick around Black Thought. I'm going to embarrass you. If you really want to go song for song, we can do it. It ain't about to go the way that you think, though, because a lot of those joints, okay, you're not going to let me talk, so I'm just going to let you talk, AG. Go ahead. Black
Thought go put people to sleep, bro. Don't do that. Like, you know,
what the fuck did Kendrick do it to Pimp a Butterfly, nigga?
And Mr. Morale.
Come on, like,
what are we talking about?
Black Thought cannot go song for song with Kendrick. What are we doing? Like, LL could.
If we're including
LL could, but not Black Thought.
If we're including the Roots records, yes, he can.
I feel like Black Thought
he's a superior lyricist. And think about this, AG. This is what I mean about when I say the best ability is availability. Black Thought has been rhyming consistently every year at a high fucking level, at a supreme top 10, 15 MC level since 1995 with no 5-year breaks, with no 7-year gap between quality material. So you're gonna discredit his 30 straight years at rapping in an elite level for a guy who's barely rapped the last 7 years, and you think that I'm crazy for putting Black Thought ahead of Kendrick? You're not respecting the game, brother, and what Black Thought's really been putting down. Because Black Thought has been great every fucking year since 1995 with no fucking breaks, my nigga. Now go say that about Kendrick. This nigga ain't even been here for half of his career, AG. Black Thought shows up and shows out for us every year.
Listen, throwing back Black Thought in there is like throwing down your Ace Hip Hop card. Like, yo, Black Thought's in my top 10. Like,
I didn't even say he was in my 10 because he's actually not in my 10. He's actually right outside my 10, but he's there and he's ahead of Kendrick.
At that
and so
point,
is Wayne, and so is Wayne. So I would have Kendrick at 14.
Wayne's my number 11. Wayne's my number 11.
So the difference between the 4 differences that we have, no, those are big differences. Because you have a guy somewhere close to 10. I have a guy somewhere closer to 15.
Okay.
That's a difference. That's like saying the guy that you have at number 1 and the guy at number 5 is close. It's like, it's not close.
Well, Punch put Nas at number 5 and I got him at number 1. So
hold on. That's like saying, who's the 5th best player of this new generation?
And who?
In hooping. Who's the 5th best player?
I mean, that's probably Luka territory.
Okay, first of all, Luka's 1 or 2. That's crazy that you said that. I
mean, you got Jokic up there. You got he'd be better than Embiid. You got I'd put him over Giannis. Luka's about 3 or 4. So let's just say Giannis.
Giannis is not 5.
Damn it, cool. We splitting hairs. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like, Coop the type of nigga like, you got him at 4, but you don't got him at 5. Like, that's crazy. Right. Like, are we being for real?
That shit. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying is like, Charles Barkley is probably the 5th best player from his generation.
Yeah.
Okay. When top 25 lists get made, he often doesn't make the top 25, and if he does, it's the back end of the top 25. The guy who's at number 1 from his era is at number 1. The guy who's at number 2 is in the top 10. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
I love Barkley, but top 5 might be a stretch because I'm going through it in my head. We still got Magic, we got Bird, we got Mike, we got Elijah Wan,
and then it would be Barkley. Barkley after those guys.
Yeah,
Barkley came third in MVP voting in 1990.
I'm thinking about David. I'd put Barkley above David. I put Barkley above Malone, Isaiah.
No, hell no. Above Malone? Nah.
Yeah, Barkley's better than Malone, fam.
Nah.
Yeah, I got Barkley.
Imagine, you know what Barkley's career would be like if he had Stockton?
Not the mailman.
You know what Barkley's career would be like if Barkley had John
I don't like
Stockton?
the deliveries the mailman was making either. That's crazy.
Yeah, facts. Yo, that's crazy. That is crazy. That is pause. Like, what is wrong with that? That's like 3 for 3 tonight on the pause, man. What are y'all doing? What's next, man? It's late over there on y'all side of the town, man.
The PDF. But anyway.
I can slide him up like AG. I had him somewhere at like 17. We can put him at like 14. I can move him up 3 slots for the win.
Are you talking about Kendrick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I respect that because you said you had him close to top 10, like right outside the top 10 before Mr. Morale
came out. No, when Damn came out, that was in 2017 that I had him approaching the top 10.
And then he dropped down. He dropped down like 5, and then you moved him up 3.
Hold on, but what has he done to maintain his position since Damn until now?
No, that's a fair point. Until this battle. Yeah, until this battle. You're right.
Right. So when I got his ass somewhere at 15, 16, 17, that's more than fair. That's what you fucking deserve. Get your ass at 14. Shut the fuck up.
But I don't know, like, because equity goes a long way. Because you can argue.
It ain't no goddamn number 3 like his homie said. That's
not even close. Not even close. But you could argue like the same thing with Jay. What has Jay done to maintain his number 1 spot for a lot of people?
First of all, he's not number 1, he's number 2. And Kendrick doesn't have anything.
No, I got Nas at number 1, but I'm just saying most people consider Jay to be number 1 without nothing,
So this is what I'm saying. So I don't know what you think. How about this? If Good Kid, Mad City is Kendrick's best album, you could argue that album would be 3rd or 4th in Jay's catalog, and that's why Jay is where Jay is. Because Jay is lyrically better. Mm-hmm. Jay is more important to this culture and more impactful, more iconic. He's a better MC overall. He has more flows. He definitely has more flows than Kendrick. He has more flows.
You ain't gonna get no argument.
And he's a better lyricist. And he has Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, and the Black Album.
Nah, you ain't gonna get no argument from me about Jay when it comes to Kendrick. I'm talking about the bottom of the 10. Like, and I still got, like I said, the Scarfaces above Kendrick.
So first of all, if Kendrick's strength is album making, he don't want no parts of Scarface.
No, but here's the thing. I moved 3 stacks out of my top 10 and put Kendrick in it. But if I'm being real, 3 stacks is better than Kendrick to me. But I just can't put him there. Objectively,
Scarface has legitimately made 10 like good to great to classic rap albums.
he has a top like 6 or 7 discography.
He has a top 5 catalog.
Crazy.
His and Ghosts are comparable.
We go in these circles, fellas.
Ice Cube has a better catalog than Kendrick.
Sean
Ice Cube does.
Sean's sleepy.
I'm like jet lagging.
Sean's sleepy. All right, well let's move on. Let's move on instead of the Ghost talk.
In Dubai or something. What this fancy nigga doing?
No, I'm jet lagging like a mug. I'm good though. No, this is great. I'm not jumping into y'all shenanigans.
Yeah, he's just here for support. That's what it says. But all right. So let's talk about this list a little bit. The Hip Hop DX, they put out the list of the top diss tracks of all time, right? Don't want to spend too much time on it, so I was going to go through the top 20. Of these. You know what I'm saying? Because they had like 100 plus. But we want to review the top 20. Number 20.
Who did this list?
Hip Hop DX and Elliot.
Oh, really, Elliot?
Yeah.
It's Elliot list.
So number 20 is Push-Ups. Y'all interject if y'all think something is egregious. You know what I'm saying? 20 is Push-Ups by Drake.
No. Next. Top 20 next.
I'm not arguing with that at all.
Not in the top 20. Pimp Slap by Snoop Dogg is better than Push-Ups. Remember the Suge diss? Pimp Slap?
Yeah.
Pimp Slap is better than that.
Number 19 is Eminem, Nail in the Coffin. 18, Jada's Freestyle, F. Beanie Siegel. That's I don't know. That's a hard one. 17 is Beans, Kiss the Game Goodbye Freestyle. That joint was dope.
That's the top 20 this record, yes.
Yeah, 16's Checkmate. Checkmate is dope.
Yes.
15, Cannabis Second Round KO. 14, BDP, The Bridge is Over, which I agree with. It should even be higher.
Higher than that.
It should be higher.
Hey, look, Coop, this is me being objective about KRS. That record should be higher. Thank you very much, sir.
KRS One anymore in life.
That should move the world for a minute.
Listen, yeah, it did. Number 13.
Sean is still traumatized by The Bridge is Over.
He is.
So number 5 to 10 diss record.
Number 13.
Hold on. The Bridge is Over is better than any diss record that we just heard from both of these guys. You understand that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Nah, I'm with that. 13 is Euphoria. That's way too high. That's way
get that out of there. Get that out of there.
Way too high. That's not even recency. That's not even recency bias. I don't know what he was doing with that. But anyway, 12, 300 bars and running by Game, which I don't know if I'd put it that high, but it's
I would put Pest Control in before I put 300 bars in. I'm with you on that.
Hey, Coop, I was, tip my cap to you because we agree on something tonight. Pest Control is one of them ones.
KRS One and LL Cool J. I'm never gonna forgive you.
Look, I got Coop pissed off. No, but what I will say before we go forward, I think LL Cool J is rated too low in relation to the Kanes, the G-Raps, the KRSs, the Slick Ricks of the world, or whatever, because his longevity has went past all those guys. Even Rakim. But Rakim, he changed the way cats rap. So he'll forever be top 10. But LL needs to be ranked higher than a lot of the legends, a lot of the golden era rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because he predated some of those that came in the game and lasted a hell of a lot longer. So all jokes aside, I think LL needs to be higher in relation to them.
Hold on, the only people from his era that I have higher than him objectively are KRS and Rakim. Do I prefer Cool G Rap, Slick Rick, and Kane to LL? I do. Objectively, no.
That's fair. And I don't want
him ahead of him.
Nah, and I don't want to act like I hate KRS One. It just wasn't for me in a lot of ways.
It's okay. It's okay.
How we said about Game is how I felt about KRS. A lot of the off-wax stuff that he would say would like turn me off of his music.
You don't like Jack of Spades, Love's Gonna Get You?
I mean, yeah.
He don't know those records. He doesn't know those records.
But KRS will get to talking in the interviews, and I just be like, I just wouldn't want to put this up.
9mm Goes Bang.
Those.
Sound of the Police. I'm a blunt.
All those.
MCs act like they don't know. Rappers are in danger.
Now the BDP stuff, outside of Return of the Boom Bap, the BDP stuff, that's all the stuff I like. Everything else, for me, you can keep.
Black Cop? You don't like Black Cop?
Yeah, it's dope. But I'm just saying, like,
Oh
come on,
yeah, remember Oh Yeah?
I'm being consistent and objective
He
by
doesn't know
saying
these songs, Coop. He doesn't
the
know these
way.
songs. He doesn't
Shut
know
up,
these
Sean.
songs.
You need to take a nap, bro.
You know, it's
Sorry, he
almost,
doesn't know these songs, man.
it's almost, you know, it's almost a crime. Like this isn't a felony, but it's definitely a misdemeanor to not really care for KRS-One and call yourself a hip hop.
We can call it what we want.
He's
Because
casual.
we just got through talking about how people discredit Game for his off-wax antics. I'm
Game
saying
ain't KRS-One. I love Game, but he's not fucking KRS.
no, he's not. Nobody said he was, but I'm scared to. I mean, I'm not scared like y'all to admit my faults on camera. KRS, just whatever he said or did outside of record, turned me off of the record.
You don't even know Rapture, Coop.
Stop
What's the
it.
other?
That's
What's the other
crazy.
songs, AG? What's the other
That's
joints, AG?
that's a top 5 KRS joint, but
It's
still,
very problematic, and that is not a top 5 KRS
It's not
joint.
a top 5.
It is.
It's not even a
It
top.
is.
Not even a
No,
top
it is.
10.
That song is
Not even
iconic.
top 10.
That song's iconic. Come on now.
Most casual fans will say that because they remember the video and heard it on the radio, but they don't know the catalog. So I get it. I appreciate
So
it. I guess.
we gonna go on with this. We're gonna go on with this list. We're gonna go with this list. Hey,
Yeah.
I ain't scared, Sean. You were scared to come over here and talk about Ghostface and tell the truth. So don't even try it with me because you were scared to tell the truth.
I'm respecting Ghostface. You can't get Ghostface on the show.
Well, I guess I'm being disrespectful then. So we
You're
gonna keep it pushing.
disrespectful.
11 is F with Dre Day, which I think is a classic diss record. So I think it's rightfully placed.
It is a classic, yes.
10 is Like That. Not Like That. Shouldn't be that high.
Not even top 50.
Yeah. Maybe
9 is Lost Ones. You know what's weird? I know that she's getting that clef on that, but I never really looked at that as a diss record.
Nah, it's not direct. You have to know.
It's the most subtle. It's the most subtle. It's the most subtle diss record of all time.
It's polite.
It's a brilliant record.
It's very polite. Yeah.
Yes.
Very polite.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just because of what that album was and who she is why it's at number 9.
No, it's a great diss. It's a great diss. It's just done with such class.
And she was spitting. She was spitting. 8 Common, the bitch in you. That was that. Nobody thought that Common would beat Cube. That was crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's rightfully placed. Number 7, Coop won't fly off the handle is No Vaseline.
He put No Vaseline where?
Number 7. That's top 3. That's top 2. No, it's top 2. It's top 2.
Might be top 2. Maybe top 3.
Here's how I feel about the man that made this list. You see how Anthony Edwards was talking shit to Kevin Durant, even though Kevin Durant was his idol growing up? That's how I feel.
I can't do this no more.
All right,
This is my last show. This is my last show.
It's like, if I see that nigga on the court, I'll be like, yeah, I used to look up to you, but I'm about to ball on you.
All right, so number 6 is
I'm about to put this nigga on a poster like Ant did.
Listen,
like,
I think No Vaseline should be top 2. Should be top 2. I only put
No Vaseline all the way down there. Like,
I personally only put No Vaseline second to Ether, and it's close. Like, I'm not mad if somebody put No Vaseline at 1. Number 6 is Story of Adidon.
It's too high.
It's too high. Maybe top 20, but back end of top 20.
Y'all don't think it's top 10 for what it did?
No. And I'm a Pusha guy. That's why everybody thinking that I'm a Drake fan. You better send me my white leather, Drake. But I'm actually a Pusha T guy.
Yeah, I think Duppy is better, but Adidon was, such, it was a deadly
One of
flow.
those are top 20 to me.
Purpose.
Infrared and Exodus are closer to top 20 to me.
Exodus is my favorite of all of them. Yeah. Number 5 is Takeover.
That's too low for Takeover, maybe.
For me, Takeover would be number 3. Yeah, number 3 on top.
That's a stellar record.
It's my number 4.
A stellar record.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Let's call it what it is.
Prodigy was never the same, and Nas was in trouble.
He wasn't.
It's a perfect record.
God bless. He wasn't. Yeah.
Number 4 is Back to Back. I cannot put that over Takeover.
Absolutely not.
I can't give it some top 10 consideration. But it's definitely
top 15. I'll put it top 15.
Top 20, definitely.
Yeah. Number 3 is Not Like Us. Way too high.
Yo, that's crazy. That's recency bias right now.
Yeah.
That's moment.
What I will say,
that's clicks and views and likes right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah.
Absolutely, but it being next to back, I do think those two songs are comparable for what they did.
This list is trash. That's what this is. This shit is trash.
I think Back to Back is a better actual diss record than Not Like Us.
Yeah.
Actual diss.
It's a diss. It has more memorable lines, but as far as what they did in the club scene, they're comparable. Number 2 is Ether.
What's number 1? No Vaseline's not number 1, and neither is Ether.
You know what number one is? Hit 'em up. And I don't know why.
Because it's trash.
I think it's over. Come on, it's not trash.
It's not trash, but it's not like that.
That's what it list.
Y'all call me disrespectful. Y'all call me disrespectful. Oh, wow. It's not trash. It's not trash.
The list is
not like that.
Okay, the list is trash, yes. Yeah. But Hit 'em Up is not trash, but it is overrated.
Trash. No.
It is overrated. It is overrated.
Hit 'em Up was a moment. I think the moment for Hit 'em Up.
Hit 'em Up is not even top 10. And I'm going to explain to you why. Part of Hit 'em Up's popularity has to do with the access that it was given, because it was the B-side to How Do You Want It, which was our multi-platinum single off of All Eyes on Me when Tupac was literally the biggest rapper in the world. That song is about exposure, not about quality. Like, if we're actually going by quality, Long Kiss Goodnight is actually a better diss than Hit 'em Up. If we're going by quality.
Hell, drop a gem on
him.
Yeah.
Drop a gem on didn't even make this list. 10% diss didn't make this list. 10%.
I'm glad you brought that up, Coop, because I want to run through this real quick. Complex got in on the action, and I think it was yesterday, they released their top 50 right after Hip Hop DX did. So this is how it compares. Number 20, DJ Quick, Dollars and Cents.
Yes.
19, Gucci Mane, The Truth. 18, Eminem, The Sauce or Nail in the Coffin.
No.
17 is Like That, so it makes another top 20 list. 16 is South Bronx. And
not really this.
No, matter of fact, I was talking about the combos. Here's me giving love to KRS again. The South Bronx, the Bridge
Don't try to salvage yourself now.
No,
listen.
Too late. The combo of South Bronx and the Bridges Open, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. That's, that's a 2-hit combo. That's a 2-piece.
Let's move past that. Let's move past that.
15, Coop, you brought this up. 10% diss. So that deserves to be put there. 14, I think, is a sleeper, but I don't know if it's rightfully placed. Is Against All Odds. I think Against All Odds is better than Hit 'em Up.
Personally. It's more surgical to Hit 'em Up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't even know if Against All Odds is a diss. That's more like that's Pac venting his truth. Like, you have to understand. People have to understand this. He really, really felt like that these dudes set him up to have him killed.
Right.
And so Against All Odds is the explanation for him of how it happened and why. That's why Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman and he's looking at it. Even the lines from The Message, little nigga named Nas, think he live. Like he really felt like that they set him up to kill him to move him out the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really felt that. And so that was more of him explaining his position about why he felt the way that he felt. I don't know if that was an all-out diss. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that I'm more of a fan of that record than Hit 'em Up.
It's a better record than Hit 'em Up. It's a better song than Hit 'em Up. Way better song.
I think it's one of Pac's best songs. I think, as far as spitting goes, that's one of Pac's best lyrical performances. From top to bottom.
Just real quick sidebar. The guy that died, well, he was getting better as an MC. Like, the mic performance on All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli are his best mic performances, because he was improving as an MC, because he was only 25 years old when he died. Biggie
was too. His last verse was Victory. Dude was getting better. That's scary. So, and a sidebar, I posted on Twitter, who is the better lyricist between Jay-Z and Big? And me and Sean was having this argument yesterday. And right now, Big is winning in the polls. So, I got to tip my head to Sean. You know what I'm saying? But I personally think
I win.
That Jay's the better.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for that. I win. So,
Hey, I didn't even have to do that. I didn't even have to say that or throw that in there. I'm just telling what it is.
I was going to say it later on. So I'm glad you got out the way.
So
my notes.
Moving on. Y'all going to get excited about this pick. Number 13 is To the Break of Dawn by LL. I don't know if it's rightfully placed, but it's a dope record.
Yeah.
It's a dope record. Once again, number 12, Bitchin' You by Common. Number 11, Back Down by 50. For what it did. For what it did.
Back Down's in my top 20.
Yeah.
Back Down's in my top 20.
Number 10, Second Round KO by Cannabis.
That was huge.
I still think LL won the battle, but Second Round KO is one of the best diss records we have of all time, for real. I definitely think it's top 10.
You give L a black eye.
Yeah. Number 9.
Cannabis is best record.
It is.
Oh, definitely.
It is.
Definitely, yeah. On that album, only Buckingham Palace can compare, you know, we're being honest.
Free from 106 and Park is on that record. I'm talking about like a solo joint.
Yeah, true. Real quick, $10 super chat from Michael Williams. Appreciate the love. Long Kiss Goodnight is dope, but didn't deserve to make the list. Big only dissed Pac. Big only dissed after Pac died. Ninjas talk a lot of shit, but that's after I'm gone because they fear me in the physical form. Yeah, Pac did say that. So that's a conversation for another day, you know what I'm saying, about the context of that diss and Pac being gone. But moving on. Let's see. Where was I at? Number 9 is F with Dre Day. Number 8 is Back to Back. Number 7, Story of Adidon.
It's crazy.
Number 6, Not Like Us. I love that record, but it is not even top 20 diss record. It's not there.
It might be top 50 something.
Yeah. Number 5 is No Vaseline. Number 4 is The Bridge Is Over. I think that's fairly placed, you know, for top 5 consideration. Look at what it did. You know, Queens was shut down until Nas came out with Illmatic. So,
yeah.
Ice Cube shut down a multi-platinum rap group, and he literally burnt down the old version of the West Coast and is responsible for it having to be built back up again via Death Row Records.
Yeah,
he's responsible for that.
That's true.
But I will note, Coop, that Ether is higher than No Vaseline on both of these lists, so they did get that right.
The house down. That's fine. He burned the house down. He burned everybody's house down.
Here's where the problem lies. Number 3 is Ether. Number 2 is Takeover.
It's very problematic.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What's number 1? Who's number 1 again?
Same one. Hit him up.
That's crazy. I'm glad that. Hey, did you get the super chat real quick? Because I'm gonna get this off my chest because this is crazy.
One from $5 one from tight. A $5 one from Esquire. Machiavelli is indeed Pac's peak as a lyricist. I 100% agree. But Me Against the World is lyrically stronger than All Eyes on Me. If I Die Tonight,
content-wise, Me Against the World is stronger, not lyric.
It is. Yeah, it does have better content.
And subject matter, song structure.
He says, If I Die Tonight is some of the best writing / alliteration ever. Yeah, Me Against the World is stellar as far as content is concerned. I believe that was the only other super chat.
Content-wise, Me Against the World is hard to beat, like, for anybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, period. In rap history, yeah.
Go ahead, Sean Cook.
No, I was saying, like, they're about to get me and Coop tight. We may have to end up putting together our own top 50 diss list because both of these lists they are trash. And I'm so glad that my man's one of my homies, used to be my homie. I used to mentor him. Named I call him Man Child.
Oh, this is
Yo, Man Child. He
I'm out. Everybody, I gotta go. Everybody have a good night.
Coop, listen, man. Yo, Coop, Man Child is from Orangeburg, South Carolina.
Oh, he's a low country.
He's a low country, and I was recruiting him for the Marine Corps. And Man Child beat up his stepfather real bad. Man Child, like 19 years old, senior in high school, and I named him Man Child because he used to beat the crap out of his stepfather. But I was riding, in a government vehicle with Man Child, and he was asking me about Takeover versus Ether. He was a hip hop head, but Man Child was kind of off a little bit. You know what I mean? His mom didn't even know it, but I kind of picked up on it. So every time we would talk about, he was fascinated by Queens. And every time Man Child would ask a question about Queens and ask a question about like Nas and Jay, because he hated Jay. And I was like, yo, I think when Takeover came out, and this is like 2003 when Man Child and I had this conversation. And I was like, yo, man, I think, when Takeover came out, I thought Nas was done. When I said that, man, child was like, blip, blip, blip. I'm like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the car driving, so every time I would say takeover, he would like, blip, 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 blip. I'm like, what is going on? Couldn't find it's not funny, man. But come to find out, man, child also had Tourette's. But I didn't
All
know it.
right, we log it
He
off.
was
We log it
listen,
off.
listen,
First
check
it
it
was the
out.
little people, now it's
Check
Tourette.
it.
So we got to log
No,
out.
but see,
We
but
got
check it. He was triggered by
Oh
takeover
my god.
because
Oh my god.
his doctor was like, yo, we didn't know he had that in him. But he was saying that music was a catalyst to his Tourette's. So every time that he would hear I would say takeover, he'd be like blip blip blip. Like, cause he would like it would come, it would like come out. I say that to say this
Jesus.
stuff triggers us in a different way, right? This list triggers
Not
me
like
in
I've
cool.
never been triggered like that.
But man child's different though. Man child has other problems, man. The takeover brought the T-Rex out of him. But what happened was, man, I ain't want to laugh 'cause it's not funny, man. But this list got me triggered, and I think that me and
He said
Coop
this got me
and
triggered.
we're gonna have to like really put together our own list, maybe a top 25, and course correct everything, because I can imagine right now that the man child is somewhere looking at this, and I hope he's doing well. But he probably spazzing out right now because the takeover is at number two. LP, I'm not the stepfather. Man child I was 24, man child like 19 at that time, and I was
So
scared of him. I was scared of man child.
so
Yeah.
so we definitely need to make a list. I think we should probably do 50 because I think one thing that people don't realize, there have been a lot of like disses because like I always tell people, hip hop was urban city angst created for
Absolutely.
people to battle it out instead of actually shooting, stabbing, fighting it out. This was a
Yes.
way to actually
Yes.
avoid the confrontation in the streets and actually do something healthy, artistically viable, creative, and quite frankly fun. Because we like to play the dozens in our community, and this is
Facts.
rap's version of the dozens. These lists are fucking terrible.
Terrible.
Um, these people should be
Terrible.
ashamed of themselves. If they did know what they were talking about at one point in time, they don't anymore. And that's
Right.
okay. That happens. You know what I'm saying? When the song get to skipping and slowing down, this is how it goes. These lists are terrible. Hit 'em up's not number
Terrible.
one.
And
Some
keep
of
in
these
mind,
songs
we just covered the top 20s. That's not even the rest of the list. Complex
Crazy.
did
if you can't
50.
you can't get 1 through 20 right, I can't trust you with 20 through 40, 40
Right.
through 60, 60 through 80, and 80 through 100. When I can't trust you, I can't trust you. It's like a Future and Metro album.
Exactly.
We can't
It's
trust
like
you.
right.
We can't
It's
trust
like
you.
it's like not knowing
We can't trust
KRS One catalog. Like, how can I trust you?
How
That's
can I
crazy.
trust you? How
How
can
can
I
I
trust
trust you? You don't even know KRS catalog. You said Rapture is KRS #1 song. That's crazy. Like,
I,
how
He said it
can I
was top
trust you?
five. He said top five. He didn't say
I,
number one.
I don't even like you, Sean. So so I'm just doing the show for contractual obligations. I don't even like you like that.
Definitely need to read the paperwork. Read the fine print next time.
You got to read the
You
fine
need to put
print,
clauses
AG.
in your contract. Be like, yo, I only get this nigga Sean twice a month.
Yeah.
Twice a month, this nigga Sean.
Yo, but
I'm
for
not
real,
signing the paperwork.
so speaking of lists, we don't have time. It's time for us to get up out of here. It's running late,
Yeah.
but we do got to finish in another segment our posse cut list. We're gonna bring that content to y'all, and get that countdown going, and then hopefully we can come up with our top maybe 40 disses, 30, 40. I don't want to
Yeah.
get too crazy with it. Maybe we can come with something like that.
I can do a 50 piece like when whatever list bought up dollars and cents by DJ Quick to MC8 discs. I was like, okay, they did a little digging. They know they shit. Dollars and cents is a top.
Yeah.
That was Complex's list, but
Okay.
but yeah,
that clock be right twice a day. It's cool.
but yeah, we definitely gonna do the posse cut joint and then get that to y'all, and then maybe work on this. And any parting remarks, gentlemen, before we get up out of here?
Hold on, real quick. AG, let me ask you something.
Yeah, what's up?
Who got the best verse on the Benjamins to you, Big or Kim?
I'm gonna tell you, I would normally say Kim, but because of the beat switch, I gotta give the edge to Big because of how he floated on that beat switch. Like
It went crazy.
yeah,
It's Kim for me.
That's what I was about to say. If somebody says Kim, and we're going to do that too, we're going to rank the best verses on each song. If somebody were to say Kim, I wouldn't say that they were wrong, but that beat switch is
where I
just.
need to fight you at, because we're gonna have a Benjamin's conversation, but I think it's Kim, because Kim's moments are more iconic than Big's are. Like the punchlines,
the quotables.
When hers come on, they go crazy. Yeah, they go crazy when hers come on.
It's more of a hip hop moment than Big's verse, even if it's not technically better. Big's verse is technically better.
Now I got a question. I got a question though, and I really don't know the answer. I'm not trying to be funny. Did Big write Kim's verse? Because if so, that's a win-win for Big.
I don't want to talk to this nigga no more.
That's nasty, man. I told you. I tried to tell you that. I tried to tell you, man. I don't deal with like that, man.
You know what?
I'm just
Sean,
asking questions.
So you leaving me with him for an hour? No more leaving me with him for an hour.
I can't.
I'm done.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'm just asking questions. I
told you, man.
You need to be back. Starting back next week at 8:30, you're going to be here on time to moderate this show.
I'll be back. Yes, I won't be. Yeah, I'll be back in town. I'll be back in town.
Bring man-child too.
You know what? I should have read the paperwork of my contract and put some stipulations in as well. This is ridiculous.
Hey, we gotta code through the paperwork.
We do. We
definitely hire an entertainment lawyer. Hire an entertainment lawyer after this show. It's be like, I want to talk about my contract with these guys. When is free agency?
Right.
AG doesn't get it together.
Just literally came out of free agency.
Nigga, it doesn't matter. It's a new day.
It's cool. We had to take out because he wanted to talk about the guy that Drake pushed or whatever. He wanted to talk about that.
Very problematic.
Yo, that's wild. Yeah,
it is wild though, man. Like they got Drake pushing that guy. That's crazy. But nah, man, let's get out of here.
My only parting thought is that Drake, I want my jacket. So
yeah, Drake,
just DM shoot an email or DM the Hip Hop Talks on social media or send us an email.
LP chill, man. LP chill.
I'll take a large butter soft Italian leather. Don't play with my jacket.
Yo, we gotta log off. It's midnight.
LP said Mohawk.
Yeah, somebody dropped the album. It's midnight. I don't know. We gotta log off.
Yo, LP going to hell, man. Yo, he said Drake's not Modoc, man.
Carolina blue on the white leather.
Hey, cool. You might as well rip the contract up because we ain't gonna have a podcast for that much longer. We gonna get canceled, bro.
Yo, and cool. You better have 20 verse V, 20 V verse 1 pretty soon, anyhow. So everybody want to claim 20 verse V. Everybody want to have enemies.
Sean can't get on the live no more when he out of town, man. He be a little sauced up.
No. But these lists are terrible, and we are gonna have to help these people correct this. They've been very wrong. They don't know what to talk about. Definitely have a touch. Yeah. All right, guys.
Gentlemen.
Yo,
it's been real.
Fellas. It's been real.
Sean, never gonna forgive you for leaving me with AG. AG, you're fired.
Man. This guy, I told you about that guy, man. I told you.
Hey, man, what can I say?
Yo, we appreciate
you can say less next time, especially when it comes to KRS-One.
Facts. Yo, appreciate y'all. Continue to subscribe. Like the channel, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We here. We appreciate y'all. Double, LP, Miss Boogie, all of y'all. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you all for the discourse. And thank you for the love. We out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Yo, AG crazy, man.